Hello.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm okay. I was wondering if you had the same problem with not being able to pick up.
I I was waiting for you to call me back too because I thought I hit the blue check to answer and it just went off my screen and I thought, well, he'll call me back, and then I was waiting and I was like, oh, I'll just call him. That's all right.
No worries at all. So have you been before we start the show? I have to be
Good.
very sure you're fine.
I'm
Yeah.
fine. It's a beautiful day here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's sunny. It's warm. I got the fan on. I got my cup of coffee. Shout out to my grandma Waters. She's doing awesome. My angel of a grandmother. And yeah, so far so good. I think it's a good start to the weekend.
Yeah, cool.
How are you?
I'm
doing
fine.
okay?
I'm good. Yeah, relatively. I was working on a design today, so just playing around stuff that I have not done in a while, and and so just trying to kind of play around some very cute
That's
works.
nice. It's good to be creative.
Oh
Do
yeah,
something creative. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something.
yeah, true. Has the weather been in Cleveland?
It was really stupid rainy all week. There was just a lot of rain and thunderstorms and mugginess. Like the humidity was like 82%. It was just uncomfortable. But today is really like a perfect day. It's just no cloud in the sky, sunny, slight breeze. Yeah.
Oh,
There's a low pressure
nice.
front coming out of the south. I sound like a meteorologist. There's a low pressure front coming out of the south that's going to push forward today towards the East Coast.
Okay.
And welcome, B-Dard. Welcome to the show, B-Dard. Hello.
Welcome everyone. I'm excited. I just wanted to be sure, because sometimes we're so into trying to get everybody sorted that we forget the people who are speaking, and so sometimes I try to ensure that the person who is to speak is sorted so we can go into
Yes.
because I realize in the week that when we haven't counseled done counseling for years, there is a regular.
Can I just take a quick second to just say thank you to the people that do reach out to us and do trust in us to take their intimate, personal questions about their lives, and they give us that trust to give our viewpoints and our opinions. And I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you to everybody who listens to the show, who joins in, who sends in the questions, because that is not an easy thing, to share intimate details and problems that you may be going through. So thank you again, as always.
True. And while we're still on the issue of or around the topic of thanks, I would want to thank you for taking out time every Saturday to do this. It's amazing how you pour out your heart every week and reach out to people from the depths of your heart. I feel sometimes I go back to listen to the show, and I feel I feel that outpour of what would I call it? There's an English word for it. I'm trying to get it, but I see you just pouring out your heart and really reaching out to help in the little way that we can. So yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're amazing.
Oh, thanks.
All
So
right.
are you.
We we have so much to talk about today.
Oh
So we're
gosh,
going to
yeah.
try as much as possible to reach out to these questions and do it the best way that we can. And once again, we're not professionals, so we're not doctors or health professionals or stuff. We just kind of share from our experiences and also share from our hearts, like what we think. Feel free to
Right.
disagree with me if you can. Feel free to disagree with us. Feel free to share your own opinions and idea, and feel free to get in the conversation. It's all welcome. Having
Yes,
said that,
absolutely. Ditto.
we're about to get in. Last week we talked about intimacy issues with a girl that has a scar, and then we talked about the guy whose girlfriend broke up and with him, and then we talked about the guy who was not sure whether to share his sexuality, not sexuality per se, but his
Sexual experiences
experience, yeah,
past. Yeah.
sexual experiences with in the past with his spouse. And then that's where we stopped, I
Mm-hmm.
think. So we're going to start from that today. No, that's not where we stopped.
Number
We talked
5.
about it. We talked
Yeah.
about, yeah, we talked about a guy who was not expressive.
Right.
That's where we stopped. So we're going to
Yeah.
start
Basically,
with
my ex-boyfriend is who is where we stopped at.
is where we stopped at, you know.
Yeah. We'll
All
just
right.
do the quotes in the air with my Mitch.
Oh, there. Yeah, that's where we stopped. I remember that.
Okay.
So we're going to start from there today, and we're going to take our very first question, and it says that ready?
Yes, absolutely.
I have a boyfriend that is strong-willed. He's independent and decisive, which is some of the traits that I like about him. The problem is that I am the same. So there is kind of two captains in our relationship both. It has been the source of most of our conflicts. Do you think I'm in the wrong relationship?
Oh gosh, I don't. You're not necessarily in the wrong relationship, okay? It can work, but you have to fully understand the dynamics and make decisions accordingly, right? So, it may be true that you both people in the relationship have the same nature, right? In this case, you're both what I would consider or kind of glean from this question as controlling in nature. So there may be more arguments or conflict as a result of both of you being very headstrong. But in order to decrease the conflicts, you need to recognize that one of you may need to surrender some of that control to a degree, okay? So now by doing this, I don't mean to suggest that you have to become a doormat, not at all, you still have to be strong in your own resolutions and who you are as a person, but one, if not both of you, need to concede a little bit or compromise on both not trying to control one another. So despite your instincts and despite what your gut is telling you your whole life, like if you both don't accept that you both need to step back a bit in terms of deciding everything or being dominating each other, it could be catastrophic to the relationship. You should sit down and have a conversation about what steps you can both take to let go of the reins a little bit. So it's not so much, it's got to be balanced. So maybe first try to identify where that need to be, where that change needs to come from. So usually it stems from like why are you controlling and why is he controlling? So analyze that first. Like usually it stems from anxiety and fear. You may be trying to guide the relationship so there won't be any unexpected outcome or diversion or deviation from what you expect, right? So you're trying to be controlling because you don't want any surprises in the relationship, right? Because it'll be easier in a way, your mind, you've probably been very practiced in controlling things because that gives you the power and you know what to expect from that. But trying to steer things like a relationship in a predictable pattern so you know what the outcome will be, it's really unfair and it's unhealthy. It's unfair to the other person. It's unfair to you. Each of you may have a hard time
Yeah.
with this because it's a disruption of how you typically handle things in your life. Because you want to head off any unforeseen future problems, but that kind of behavior in a relationship especially is unsustainable in my opinion for the relationship. It could be, now where does that come from? Where does that controlling feeling or need to dominate someone else or the situation in a relationship, where would that come from? I mean, it could be because you have a
That
difficult upbringing. Go ahead.
I have an answer to that. Where it comes
Yeah, go.
from. I was just looking for when to get in, and that's a very good point for me to get in, because I realized that this is a problem with people who have been independent for a while. Like, there are certain persons
Yeah.
that, yeah, there are certain persons that have been in relationships from when they were 14, 15,
Right.
16. They've always been in this, they've always craved for love, for companionship, for stuff like that. So it's like it's like every time they're craving for their parents' love, then they crave for a guy's love, and then they evolve from one guy to another. They're never in a position where they were by themselves, and so therefore, they're quick to love. They're quick to rely on somebody to for happiness, for fulfillment, for
Right.
stuff like. However, there are some people who grew up um, devoid of that. They have been independent for a long time, and they have in their independent state they have been able to arrange and they've been able to conduct their affairs. And what that means is they don't rely on anybody to be happy. They can be happy all by themselves. You get what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um they when you
I mean,
when it comes to the point where they now decide they want to get into a relationship, they kind of look for someone because they've been independent. They try to look for a guy who is also very independent. And again, just as an aside, most ladies tend to find a guy who is much like them. I would talk about that in a minute, after so I don't digress
yes.
from this point. But most ladies tend to look for guys who are like them. And so sometimes it's boils down to that part of. Before I digress, let me just answer your question and you can continue, and then I'll come back to it. And it comes to the fact where, but because both parties are independent, when they meet, they tend to want to carry on with that independent attitude, and so
Right.
that becomes a problem. So I think
Yeah.
that answers the question as to where it comes from, but you can continue. I'm
I
going to come
I
back.
do I do before I continue on this point, I want to welcome Queen Mother into the room. Thank you for joining us. Queen
Yeah,
Mother, fellow
welcome.
pod stars, showing love and support. Thank you for being here. And Ms. Mature 100. And also, before I continue, the question at hand is there's two people in this relationship, and they're both strong willed and controlling. And it causes a lot of conflicts. Are they in the wrong? Is she in the wrong relationship? But I want to take this voice note before we move on because I still have some points to make.
Hey, Mama Higgs. So I came by to show you some love. I remember you told me you had a show this morning, so just coming by to say, hey, how you doing, Zeno?
Aw.
Hope you have a good show with your
Uh,
mother.
Aw,
welcome.
bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, so I think that you make a very valid point, and it also could be some other factors, like it could be that maybe that person had a difficult upbringing and developed controlling tendencies and
Mm,
anxiety about maintaining their life in a certain way that gives them that sort of control. So in order to work through um, with this, you have to first identify the root of what causes both of you to want to run the show, as it were. The control tends to appear when things need to get done. Like, does the problem manifest when you are both trying to decide what to do in any given situation? You're both two different people, and you have to understand that you're both going to have different standards of what constitutes a successful resolution to whatever the situation is, right? You're both going to have
mm.
different ideas on that. So at some point, it's logical to think that you're going to have to relinquish a little bit of that power. So if
Yeah.
you, yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I just wanted to agree with you on that.
Yeah, because if you're going to be in this relationship, you have to want to function as a team, and you should both be lifting one another up and not trying to dominate each other. So
Yeah.
I think that's an important point.
Yeah, I want to add something, yeah. Um, if in a relationship, and this is what I just mentioned when I talked about it earlier. Um, I don't I saw a movie which we all know, The Coming to America. The
Right.
very first one, not the very first
Oh, the good
1980
one. Yeah,
something.
the good one.
No, I like the other one, but I just don't want to mention stuff about the other one. But but the very main one, the
The
first one.
OG come to America.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then when the man, there was this pretty girl that he that they brought, and he asked the girl, "What do you like?" And she said, "Whatever you like, my lord.
Right.
What do you want to eat? Whatever you want to eat. What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do." Now, he got really like, oh my God, I can marry somebody who wants to do everything that I want to do. I draw that analogy, and then I look at a lot of relationships where a girl draws a list of things that she wants to see in her man, and they are the things that they're characters that are very similar to what she has. And she likes a man who's very quiet because she's quiet. She likes a man who likes to go out because she likes to go out. She likes a man who likes to do all of those things because she likes to do all of those things. So you have two people who do not complement each other. Now, for a relationship to excel, both parties have to complement each other. And to complement each other means both party had to kind of have different set of abilities. And so what I have, you don't have. What you have, I don't have. We both then need each other. And so when we come together, you give a part of stuff that I don't have in the relationship, and I bring to the relationship something that you don't have. And together we are a team because we can each complement each other. But when you have
Yes.
two people who have the same attitude, the same actions, I like things done this way and done that way and done that way.
There's going
I
to be
like the
conflict.
tooth. Exactly. I like the toothpaste in pressed in the middle. And when I was practicing as a lawyer back home, there was this case that I did, a divorce case. And trust me, an issue as small as where to press the toothpaste can actually result to a marriage getting, hitting the rocks. And I'm like, although that's not the sole reason, but that was one of the things that came up on the table as to, he doesn't do this, he doesn't drop the toilet seat, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. And the man is like, Jesus Christ, Nazareth, what's it with pressing the toothpaste from the middle? Yeah, I can press it from wherever I like. It's a toothpaste, man. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Put in the she
Yeah.
likes the she likes the her kitchen. She would say this. She likes her spoons in one place and likes the fork in one place, like the knives in one place, and she doesn't like it each time that the guy comes home and he would put the spoons anywhere he likes. Again, those are very trivial things, but they're very important to some people. To
Right.
some people,
And
it
that's
is the main thing.
it's about compromise, and you can't someone has to make the first move, because in any relationship, like if you're both going to be headstrong, domineering, decisive, and want each one to rule the roost, it's not going to work. But so somebody has to make the first move, because you can't have all of one thing, because then it's lopsided. If you're all on this side, the other side's going to be up in the air and there's no balance.
Hmm.
You can't be subservient, but you can't be domineering. You have to walk that fine line. So you have to be willing, you have to first of all be willing to make the adjustments in your own behavior, because you have to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to at least step back and say, okay, what can I do to adjust my behavior to make this relationship better? And then hopefully your partner, if you sit down and have a conversation with them, will say, yes, all right, I'm willing to compromise and do this. I'm willing to do this. But
Yeah.
you have to be willing to accept the other person's flaws and quirks too at the same time, just as much as their positive qualities. You
Yeah.
can't just, yeah,
Yeah, you
very
just
important.
have to at some point say to him, there's got to be at this point where both of you come together and say, hey, this is me. This is how I am. And the other person says, okay, this is how I am too. And then you guys like, okay, for the sake of this relationship, there's got to be some movements in terms of
Right,
compromise, like you said.
right,
However, nothing says that it is the woman that has to compromise, and nothing says it is a man that has to compromise. Because sometimes some men would say, "Hey, the woman ought to submit to the man," and the man say, and the woman says, "No, no, no, no. Uh, I'm not submitting to no man. I have to do. The man has to submit." So we've got to be able to submit to ourselves. And the man is saying, "I'm the man," and the woman is saying, "I'm the woman." And so you can put me aside and stuff like that. So it's
well,
always this whole.
that's part of recognizing having to compromise. That's part of having that conversation with yourself, and the willingness. It's the willingness to be able to do that. And I do want to just take a second to acknowledge everybody in the room. This Comics Life, thank you for joining us. Philip, Faye Shadow, welcome to everybody here in the room. But like you said, trying to dictate, for me, like if you try to dictate and maneuver another person's life path, it's not gonna work. You can't do it, and it's not gonna bring happiness or peace in the relationship. It just won't. You have to be willing to curb your own controlling ways.
True,
So
true.
what can you do to do that, right? So there are ways to stop that. You could try to admit more often that you're wrong, because I know
Hmm.
that's a very difficult thing for people to admit that they're wrong. Like I have never understood that, because for me, I don't have a problem saying I'm wrong. I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up. That was my bad, dog. Like I my B, I didn't mean it. Whoopsies.
Hmm.
But like for a lot of people, it's a point of contention where it's that pride, that ego that won't allow themselves to say, I'm wrong. I'll admit that. Let's talk about it to get past it. But also to compromise on your expectations of how things should be done. So you can both sit down and say, oh, those are the church bells. I'm sorry. That'll be done in
Hmm.
a minute.
That's
But
fine.
you to sit down and say, okay, let's both decide where we are as far as our expectations of how we should cohabitate or get through, in our relationship, move day to day. But also, I think this 1.2 kind of falls to the wayside. Respecting your girlfriend or boyfriend, your partner's friends or hobbies outside of you, right?
Yeah.
Allowing, like, letting them be their own person and respecting their friends, their hobbies, their interests outside of you in the relationship. So I don't know. A lot of people have a problem
Yeah. That.
having Go ahead.
That works. That works. That's very key and that's very important. Uh, you know, uh, in the relationship where you have to, you must to a reasonable extent, you must understand that you're not the only support system that they have. These people have support systems
Right.
outside you, and therefore you must respect that. However, there are times where those systems are anti. How will I put it? If your girlfriend, I know this is kind of digressing, and I don't want to push it much, but because you said it, if your boyfriend,
Brilliant.
if your boyfriend is hanging around some guys who are not in a relationship and they always want to go to the club and hassle and try to get girls that they can take home, and they're always talking about, there are those kind of, affinities that he had before he met you and decided, okay, I want to get to settle down and do the right thing and stuff like that, but he still has those affinities with those guys and still kind of go on those drunk night outs and stuff like
No,
that.
yeah.
And
I don't
so
think I
sometimes,
don't mean
yeah,
that. I don't mean that.
because sometimes,
I
yeah,
mean
no, I had to draw that out, because there are times
distinction,
where
right?
you have to distinguish between, because there are times where the hobbies that this persons tend to be counter what you stand for,
Productive
or
to the
what.
relationship,
Yeah, yeah.
antithetical.
So
Yeah,
exactly. So you must distinguish that. You must, and at that point, you don't say, well, they're my friends, I know them, that we've been together for years, you can
right,
ask me to stop
right.
seeing them, stuff like
And
that. So
please
yeah.
don't misunderstand what I'm saying by respect your partner's friends or hobbies. Like I'm saying, if they have healthy outlets, like say for
Yeah.
example, they've had college buddies that they have a
Mhm.
standing poker day,
Mhm.
once every month.
Mhm.
That's respectable. That's absolutely something that you should encourage. Or if they
Yeah.
have like they get together, or even with family, if they have family traditions, you should be able to
Yeah.
expect that your partner has some sort of other life outside
Other
of
than
your
you. Yeah.
relationship, as long as it's
True.
healthy and as long as it's not bringing any harm to the relationship or to either of you in a negative way. Absolutely.
Mm.
But also I just
Yeah.
wanted to say too, this one point, as far as being in both of you being in control of the relationship, and this is like a big sticking point with couples, being able to let go of the need to have the final say. That's a big one.
Yes.
Yes,
You. Yes.
that is really a big one, because when you're in an argument and you've got to have the last word and you're like, no, well, up yours then. Well, no, up yours. Well, fuck you then. Well, no, fuck you. Well, fuck your mama. Well, no, fuck your grandmama. Like, you just want to
Yeah.
escalate and
Yeah.
be heard. It's like you
And
have to, at some point, for me personally, I feel like, what is really important? What am I wasting my energy on? And am I going to expel this energy on something that's just useless and not really serving me or my relationship in any way, shape, or form? Is it that important for me to say the
yeah.
final word, or is it
Wait,
going to
wait, wait,
cause
wait,
more of a
wait.
rift?
Can I ask you a random question? What is that one
Yes.
word that ends an argument for you? What's the one word that you use that ends an argument for you? I want to ask everybody in the room so
Like,
we can get everybody talking. It's just an aside question, yeah? What's the one word that when you say that word, that's the end for you? You don't go any further. That's it. You just close it and
like
end it.
out of my mouth or out of my partner's
Yeah,
mouth?
out of your
Out of my
mouth.
mouth.
What's the one
Out of
word
my
that you
mouth.
say that ends an argument
I
for
just
you?
say you're right. I'll say you're right. Okay, fine.
Okay.
That's
and
it.
and and that
I'm
and
like,
that means you
yeah,
don't want to
you're
talk
right.
about it anymore.
Done. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, all right, you're
Yeah.
fine. Good.
My
Done.
mine is almost the same. Mine is okay. I just use the
Yeah,
word okay.
okay. Yeah, okay,
Okay.
that's
I
fine.
just I just
I've
it
literally
just
said
ends
you're
it there
right.
because
If it's
because
an
because
argument, I know
stop
this is
stop
a
trying.
very
Yeah,
small
yeah,
talk.
you know the moment, because I feel like sometimes some people just want to be right all the time. You cannot be
Yeah,
right
for
all the
sure.
time. You
No.
cannot. There are times where there are times where I can actually give up. Like, because so there can be peace. I just say, okay, it's fine. Let's just leave it at that. It's fine. I don't want to go over it again. I don't want to push.
Exactly.
I just said, okay, it's fine. But if I
Okay.
do that today, just so peace can reign, and I do that today, and I do that tomorrow, and I do that next tomorrow, at some point I want to say, hey, come, Zeno,
Yeah.
what's up? If you keep doing that, what you allow will continue. So she's comfortable. She's like, okay, I'm always right. No, you're not always right. I'm actually just shutting up so we can have some peace.
Yeah,
At
but
some
at the
point you
beginning,
realize,
if you remember at the beginning of what I said you have to give a little bit of the control up, but without becoming a doormat. So
no,
you have to be weary and aware of when what is worth putting your energy into an argument, and when if it's something that really isn't, it's not going to make or break the relationship. It's something like the tube of toothpaste. Who gives a shit? Get another tube of toothpaste and have your own. End
simple.
of argument. Simple. Done. Now we have some
I'll
people
take
say
my own
that's
toothpaste. Keep your own
right.
toothpaste. That's what I
Exactly.
told the
And
couples, yeah.
done.
But let's
And
let's
done.
take this three. Let's take these
Yeah.
two
We
messages so
got
we don't
heart of the
pile them up.
hood here.
I'm
All right.
sorry if I'm into an argument or a debate and I know that the person's wrong. I'll just accept the fact they're an idiot and I'll just shut up and they can have the last word. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't even know what they're
Exactly.
talking about. And they're not going to let me convince them. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
So true. That's a
Yeah.
good point
Yeah.
too. If you know that the argument isn't going to be one, like if you know that that person's argument is so full of holes, doesn't make sense, and it's just they're being an idiot, just walk. It's fine. You know what? Stay stuck on stupid. I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Fine.
The only problem I have, yeah, I agree with that, and I do that a lot. But the only problem, well, did I say a lot? Well, I do that sometimes. Let's put sometimes. It's just safe to say sometimes, because sometimes the lawyer in me just comes out, and I want to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
push and yeah. But the problem with that is when you
Did you
do
order
that
the
all the
code
time.
red? You're damn right I did.
the problem the problem with that is very simple. If you do that, you don't end up, there is this, I don't know if it happens to you, but there is this point where when you're in an argument and the sole aim of you arguing is to change the perception of the person. Does
Right.
that happen to you? You just feel like, if I
Right.
don't say this guy is going to continue doing this. I need to make my stand. I need to let this person know that he's acting stupid. And then you
Yeah.
probably would keep pushing and keep pushing just to let the person see that point, and he's refusing to see it, and you're just like, oh my God, are you so and you want to scream
Right.
and you
But
want to
you
do
know
all of
what?
that.
This was such an exercise for me, and this is where bartending helped me to be a better person in recognizing those things in people. When I was bartending, right?
Mm,
Now you're dealing with people that come into the bar that they run the gamut of emotional states, and then
mm,
add alcohol. So if they're sad, they're depressed, they're angry, whatever, then you add alcohol and it intensifies. So there were a lot of times where, because I don't drink, so I'd be sober, and I'm a relatively intelligent human being, I think. And
you are.
I would thank you. And I would start having a conversation with one of these bar patrons, and at some point I would recognize fairly quickly whether I was just spinning my wheels or the words I was saying they were falling on deaf ears. So at some point I would say, you know what? I don't want to alienate this person because I need them as a customer. I need their
Mm.
money as a tip, and the business needs their money. And what we're arguing about isn't really that important. It's not life-changing for me. So I don't give a shit. You're an idiot. You want another Bud Light? Fine, $2.50. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
I don't give a
exactly.
shit. You have to just be willing to just, call it a day. But we have
Hmm.
another voice note.
You know, it's funny that he asked that question. What's the one word you can use in the middle of our argument that let the partner know that it's over with? In the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of my next relationship, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, all right, if we ever get into an argument, this is my word, that means I don't want to talk about it no more. And then I'm going to say this word, it's over with. I'm not going to speak about it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So if you keep speaking about it, you're going to be talking to yourself because I ain't going to comment no more.
High
like
five,
that.
high five. I'm so happy
Air
that
high
I've made an
five.
impact to this money. High five, man,
Yeah.
high five.
Part of the
Because
hood.
it's
High five.
it
High
is, man,
five.
it is. I'm
Be
happy that
who,
he
be
got
me.
that, and I'm happy he got that. I'm happy that because that is it. Because sometimes you just want to save
It's an
yourself that
excellent
stress.
question.
Yeah, because I used to work. See, when we get into an argument, I used to walk away. And there are people. See, there are people who, when they get into an argument, and they think that the person is pushing, they just end the call. Like if it's in a call, they end the call,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, that's so rude. When you end the call when the person is talking to
That
you,
is so
like because
interesting. That's so great. I think that's
because you don't
really
want to.
great. That is a great
No,
question.
no, think about it. What do you think? Like I'm in an argument with you, and then all of a sudden, because you don't want to accept what I'm saying, and I don't want to accept what you're saying, I just end the call.
Mm-hmm.
What would
Yep.
you think? What would your reaction be?
What if we were on a phone call together?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
dating, and then we had an
oh,
argument, and then you end the
yeah.
call.
Oh, by hanging up and not saying anything?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and in the middle of the
that's
argument, I
bad.
just end the
Yeah.
call.
No. No, that's no bueno, as the kids say on the street. No bueno. That's a whole different disrespect. That's
It
that's
is.
that's a disrespect. Yes, absolutely.
That's what I think. It's so rather than do that, there should be just that one word that you can just say and say, okay, it's
Yeah.
done. I don't
Here's
want
my
to
safe
I don't want
word
to go
for
any
our
farther with
argument.
that. hmm
Sassafras.
That's the end.
I
Let's just
say
do it. It's
sassafras. Yeah, end that shit. Well, I
exactly,
want to take this
exactly.
voice note from my good friend Zippy. Zippy's in the room. I'm so happy you're joining us. Thank you for being here, Zip.
Just listening, enjoying your show. Pretty hungover, so I'm just gonna be sitting here in the background, having a wee grape, enjoying listening to your show.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Zip.
ZP. Thank you, thank you,
Drink a
thank you.
lot of water. Drink some water, my
Yeah,
friend. Have an aspirin and drink some water. So
cool.
to just sum up, like that last point for me, especially letting go of the need to have the final say, is like a
Mm,
big bugaboo, like a big bugaboo in relationships. And that is one of the things where you have to like just kind of agree to disagree in a way, right? So we just agree to
mm.
disagree, depending on the actual content of the argument. But at the end of the day, like I've said before, and I'll keep shouting it from the rooftops, at the end of the day, you only have control over three things: your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So you are the one that has to work on you. If it's important to stay in the relationship and you know that you're both of the same way, like you're both headstrong and you come to loggerheads all the time, button heads, then someone's got to
Got
shift a
to.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not only you that does the shifting. Okay. I just wanted to say that. The other
Right,
person has to learn to shift too. So, because if
right,
you're doing the shifting all the time, it's going to be a problem. So, the other person needs to
right.
shift. You guys have to be able to learn to compromise and to know when to shift grounds. And you know when to end that argument and then push further.
Right.
If the argument does not go to the core of the relationship and it's something you
Yes.
can let go, let it go. It doesn't matter
And that,
whether he's pressing toothpaste from the middle or from the end,
yeah.
just get it wrong face.
Yeah. But that's the important part of sitting down and having a conversation. Let's make a pot of coffee. I got some
Mhm,
Edmonds, all butter loaf cake right here. Let's sit down, let's have
mhm.
some cake and coffee and hammer out the details. Let's get let's
Exactly.
get let's get into it. So let's hear. We have another voice note from
And then
See,
we
y'all
take the
really
next
got me think
question.
about this. Like, what is my word going to be? I mean, it's a cross between imaginary and thought master. Because I figure we're arguing out in public, and I say imaginary and walk away. A lot of people just going to be looking like, what the hell just happened? Or if I say thought master and then walk away, it'd be great because I want to be able to make sure that when an argument's over, it's known that it's over. And the word that I use is going to really make that person think like this mother effort did not just say that, in the middle of whatever's going on, because it's going to be
It's
distracting.
Pavlov's
It got to be a
dog.
word that's going to grab the attention and make them shut up
Ding.
anyway, without saying shut up or you right, because I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. Why would I lie and say you right? I've been doing that all my life, lying to people telling me they right, and they be dead wrong.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Okay. I feel this brother. 100%. Because sometimes you just like, you're right. And in your mind, you're like, well, Zeno, you just lied, man. She's not right. But again, on the other hand, I think that word, there's certain words that you just drop and leave is like, it's like an atomic bomb. It may just kind
Yeah.
of cause more havoc than.
Yeah,
So
because if
yeah, you
a
just.
guy and a girl are arguing in public and a guy yells the
Mhm.
word uterus at her and they both just shut up and walk away, I'm gonna think something's off. But the thing is that
Yeah.
I don't condone arguing in public. Like I've seen it as a
Yeah.
bartender. I've had to break up fights. I've had to physically yoke guys up and physically remove them from the building. I don't condone. Have control. Have some decorum. But when you're at home and you're arguing over, typical relationship stuff, if it's nothing that's,
Mm,
monumental, I mean, you have to kind of,
mm,
that's where you have to use your own common sense as far as what's
yeah.
worth arguing about, what's worth furthering the argument and trying to make your point, or what's just worth saying, you know what? All right, let's drop it. Sassafras, I'm done.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yeah.
You want
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah,
food?
and
What do
then
you want?
and then and the funny thing when you end a conversation, like you end the conversation and then you throw in something else, like just to swerve off the whole thing and just ask about something else and then just get up, and then
Yeah.
there was something I wanted to say. I wanted to agree with you on, and it's very key, for if you have a spouse, as a couple, do not argue in front of your friends. Do not argue in front of your kids.
Very
Do not
bad
argue
form.
in public.
Very
The
bad.
reason for this is because you guys are going to settle either way, but the impression that you're going to leave in the minds of those people is going to be forever. Like they're just going to keep, every time they see her, you probably would want to say something, because when you're angry, you want to say something that really hurts the other person, and then you say all that crap, and everybody hears it, and you're
Yeah.
washing your dirty linings in public, and everybody hears it, and then two
Yeah.
2 days after, she comes and she or he comes and he says, oh, I'm sorry about everything, and then you guys are together again, having this loving thingy that you guys do
Yeah.
have, and then all of a sudden you're
Mhm.
back in the same place, and they're like, they're together again, and like, remember what she said about, what did he say about that girl? Like, oh,
Yeah,
remember what
that
she's.
is true because it's very difficult to change the mental image that people have of you once you show your
Exactly.
ass. Like
Once
once
you
you
say
are
it, you said it.
screaming, yes, and then you can't unring a bell. You just can't. So,
Exactly.
I mean, you as in the relationship, if you're both headstrong, you're both controlling. You have, like you said, you can't make all the concessions one person, but that's why I'm saying
Hmm.
sit down, have the conversation, say, look, we both are this way. We know we're both this way. So what can we do? So what can we do to remedy any upcoming arguments or situations where we can both feel comfortable, like we both have, been successful in getting what we want,
Scream.
whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. And do that conversation at home. Do it. You can
Right.
make all the shout. You can shout as much as you can in the room
Yeah.
with you and her, but don't let another ear. Don't let it be, if it's just like your friends are in the room and that's when you decided you wanted to have a conversation with her, or your friends in the house, and that's when she wants to have that conversation you've been putting off for the past 3 days. The moment your friends are out there playing video game, and then she comes and like, hey, you've not dropped that stuff, hey, you've not done that thing, hey, that's what I said about it all the time, and then you just can't keep screaming. He's not going to accept your point of view when you're embarrassing him in front of his friends. He's going to want to be the guy, and you know what, he's going to want to, the ego just kicks in when somebody else is in the room,
Yeah,
so.
and you know what? And no matter who's in that situation, whether it's the female or the male who's starting the argument or on the receiving end of it, I mean, there's something to be said for just looking at that person, lowering your tone and saying, we'll talk about this at home. And if they
Exactly.
persist, you remove yourselves from wherever you are. It's kind of like child rearing. Like, I hate to say it that way, but when my kids I would have a pep talk with them in the car when we would go to a restaurant. I would say, listen, you're going to sit quiet, you're going to use your manners, and we're going to behave. Those were the expectations going in. And if you don't, we're going to leave. And they were always good. But I mean, one time I think I had to like remove my kid from a situation, but that's what you do. You just communicate what you expect and what you are willing to put up with and not put up with. And it's people,
Yeah.
I think, make things way more complicated than they need to be for themselves in these relationships. But let's
True.
take this other
True.
voice note.
And speaking about getting angry, I just want to say something to hurt the other person. I think the next time I get angry like that with somebody, if I'm in a relationship, and if it's that bad, I just want to leave the person alone. Like, look, it's over. I think I got your mom pregnant. It don't get no worse than that. You could say that and walk out the door. They ain't gonna want to come back. They probably flip out, throw something at you or something, but it don't get no worse than that. That's probably the worst you can go and say something out of the ordinary. Or if a female could just be like, oh, your dad got me pregnant. You know, that was a hurting words right there. It'll definitely end a relationship or calm things down, one or the other.
It won't. I can almost guarantee you it will not calm things down.
Hell no. Hell to the no. It's not going to. So please don't try it at home. You know that moment where you're like, please don't try it. Don't try it at home. You know the moment.
You're not trying it at home. Right.
Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, man, because sometimes you see, like when you see ladies, have you seen ladies? Well, obviously you have seen ladies fight. Have you seen ladies fighting? Now, there's one thing. I'm not trying to be very whatever here, so I'm going to be very careful. But there's one thing I think
that I will check your ass, you know. So
yeah. But there's one thing. There's one thing the ladies have in mind when they fight. The first thing is to embarrass the other lady. That's the first thing in their mind. And that's why you see a lady, they're not even trying to hurt the other person physically. They're trying to hurt the other person psychologically and in another way. So you see the lady trying to take, I don't know if it happens in America, but back in Africa, if you see two ladies fighting, the other one is trying to tear the clothes off so people can see her naked outside in public. So people can say,
here all the time.
So they're trying to take up, you're trying to just take off the other person. And there was this kind of fight. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this. And I'm going to draw the analogy of why I brought the story up. But there were these two ladies fighting. And then the other one was trying to get her blouse to tear the top, you know? And while she was struggling to do that, this other lady didn't even mind. She just put her hand on her skirt. Yeah, and dragged both the skirt and the panties the whole way down. And so she's trying to embarrass her by taking off her top or turning off the top. But the other girl, on the other hand, got a better, of her. And at the end of the day, that's what happens when you're trying to hurt somebody. Like you're trying to say something that will hurt the other person is trying to say something that will hurt you. Both of you end up hurting yourself. So yeah, it's not a good good way to go. Not at all. Do not try to hurt.
Obviously, in that situation, the one female was very much an exhibitionist and didn't give a shit about her, her public nudity. So, but the thing is back to the subject. If you got two people that are control freaks or somebody's got to, both have to have the conversation. You both have to sit down and you both have to decide where you can both compromise and give a little in the relationship. But let's take this.
All right, let's take this one.
I'm sorry, but all that arguing out in public is not something that I got patience for anymore. If the person I'm talking to feel they want to pick an argument and get loud out in public, they're going to be mad at me because I'm not going to say anything and I'm going to walk away. And they're going to wonder where I'm going, and I would love to tell them, but I'm not speaking to you at the moment because you're going to pit me out on Front Street in front of the whole world, all our business open up or whatever the case may be. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm gonna walk away and they're just gonna be mad at me about that too. So whatever they mad about, they're gonna add that to the list. They're gonna have to pick which one they're gonna be mad at first or whatnot. They could be mad about the fact that I came home late, or the fact that I met them late, or I was picking them up, or some shit like that. Or they be mad about the fact that I walked off, just left them standing there, left their ass all the fuck alone. Like, I ain't got time for that mess. I'm trying to tell you it's true. I done been through enough crap, but I know what I'm gonna do.
He's
I
right.
feel this guy, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel him so much, and yeah. So, but we're gonna go to the next question.
Well, let me
But
play
I feel
this
him.
next voice note before we get into the next question.
Okay.
This is fucking class. You guys are gelling really well together. It was really interesting.
Thank you.
Never thought I would be hearing about the.
I ain't got time for that mess.
Ain't got time for
Okay.
this. Ain't nobody got time.
Thank
for
you
this.
so. Thank you so
Sid.
much. Thank you. Yeah, we gel a lot. That's good.
We do. We're good
Yeah.
friends. We respect each other and we like each other, so that helps.
Yeah, that really helps. Number 6. I think my girlfriend is cheating on me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry
Lord,
for
here
you.
we go.
Oh no. Why they always do this? Anyway, but I don't have a way to prove it. And I don't want to confront her just in case I'm wrong.
Okay. First of all, I have so many questions for this person. First off, are you typically distrustful in all your relationships? Let's just first deal with you, okay? Have you been cheated on before? Have you ever cheated? Okay? Because just from the little snippet of this question from this listener, it gives me pause, because it may be that you might be projecting your past issues and insecurities onto your girlfriend, okay?
True.
So you could possibly be creating this non-existent problem out of fear or insecurity or whatever, bad experience you may have had in your other relationships. Now, are you with me so far on that, Zeno?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, because I'm going in deep. Okay. Now, if your answer, person who asked this question, if your answer is no to those questions, now we can move forward. So here is the beautiful thing about being a boyfriend or a girlfriend or being just dating. You don't have to stay. You're not married. If you suspect that something isn't right, or you're not comfortable in this relationship and you don't have trust for the person that you're dating, you can simply move on and find someone else more suited for you.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to pause there and let you interject if you like.
Yeah, because I'm going to say something to that.
I feel you champing at the bit. I can sense it.
Yeah. I agreed with you up until that point. And you know what? See, if you think that your spouse is cheating on you, please, for heaven's sake, get some proof.
That's
that's the thing. It's that's the lawyer in me. I don't believe in just words. I believe you get some proof. In the age of technology and stuff, if there is something going on, you're going to know. And that's do not confront someone about something that you do not do that. It's so I would not advise you to go confront your girlfriend and say, hey, I think you're cheating on me because of get some hard proof. And the proof is not true and the proof is not
You're exactly right, and the lawyer in you, in this case, most people don't like lawyers, but this time you're spot on, because that's why I paused, because the next section of what I was going to say was exactly that. If the real question here is, do you have proof? If you have no proof, why do you suspect her? If you have no proof, then I would advise against confronting her, because it will only show your insecurities, your fears, and your lack of
Your
trust and
distrust.
disrespect for her. Yes, and lack of
Exactly.
respect for her.
Exactly. Sometimes you just get if you don't have proof, and that proof is not your friend said
Right,
or her
exactly.
friend said
Hearsay.
or somebody said something. No, that's not proof. There's got to be hard evidence that this is happening, because I see a lot of people break up relationships because the friend said, I saw her somewhere. I saw
Yeah.
her doing this. If you saw
Yeah.
her doing something, I remember back in the day, I did a divorce case. I did a divorce case. This is not somebody else. This me.
Okay.
And this woman was cheating on the husband with a customer's husband. Like,
Okay.
um, she had a shop, and one of her clients' husband was the one she was cheating with. And the
Okay.
husband didn't know until the guy bought her a car. And you know what? The friend said, "Hey, you guys have a new car
Does
now,
this
and you
guy
didn't
have a
tell me."
brother?
Like, you didn't tell me. And they're like, "Oh no, I don't have a car." And they're like, "Oh, I saw your wife driving a car." And the next thing they did was take a picture of this woman and this man, because that's what phones are there for. Hey, look at it. And so
Mm-hmm.
when he saw it, he got enraged, like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" So the idea here is, do not go to your friend and say, "Hey, I saw your girlfriend with someone else, blah 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 blah." Take a picture, send it to him, and say, "Hey, look at," and not just take a picture of of the girl and a colleague and send it to your the boyfriend and say, "Hey, I saw your friend with some guy."
Yep.
Get
And
proof.
that's
The bottom
that's
line is,
exactly right.
get
I'm sorry,
get
go
some
ahead.
proof, because
It's
sometimes
so
sometimes you know sometimes it may just be a colleague or something like that, and then you just go. People just don't shut up about other people's business, and then they would
mm-hmm.
just, they see you happy with your boyfriend and they're not happy,
Mm-hmm.
so they want
Jealousy.
to kind of put in something. Yeah, they kind of put in something and tell news and stuff. So until you get that proof, that's not, just chill.
Right.
And finally, before I let you say something about this, the proof, and I think we've said this in one of our shows, so we're not going to really spend a lot of time on that. But the proof is not the fact that you saw a message that was sent to her on her phone by somebody else.
Right.
The proof is the message that she sent to somebody else after receiving that stupid message from somebody else. I don't know if you
Right.
understand what I'm
Exactly. The
trying to say.
telephone
Oh,
game. Right.
exactly. Exactly. Let's listen to
Yeah.
some message. We have four.
Yeah. Let's listen to these messages before I drill down further on this subject.
Okay.
I don't understand. How do you think your girlfriend is cheating on you? Either she is or she isn't. And if you just
Right.
think that she is, there got to be a reason why you're thinking like this. And if there's a reason why you're thinking like this, then you probably should talk to your girlfriend about the reason why you think this way. Well, but make sure you don't bring up the fact that, you think that she's cheating. Talk to her about what the hell she's doing and making you think that she's cheating without mentioning the fact that you think that. That's if you can do that. It'll be a complicated task, but if you pull that off, the truth will come out, and then you won't
Okay.
have to think about whether she's cheating or not, because you'll know.
Okay. He just said something very key in that voice note where he said,
Mm-hmm.
she's making you think that. No, 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 no,
Mm.
no, no. No. Here's what I was before we play those other voice notes by him, which we appreciate you contributing. Thank you so much, Heart of the Hood. But
Yeah.
the thing is you need, if you don't have any proof and you confront her, and like I said, it's just going to show your own insecurities. It's going to push her away. You need to do some serious introspection instead of
Mm.
confrontation. Okay,
Yeah.
because if you have no proof, yeah, you could be creating some really irreparable damage in the relationship. So you need to try to work through your own trust issues and fears. So
I
that's
agree
the
with
thing
that.
too. I mean, he could be, this
Yeah.
person who's asking the question could be overly possessive too. I mean, he might just be exacerbating whatever he sees or hears or thinks he sees. So are you making
True.
innocent situations out to be more than they really are? Plus, if you have no proof, she'll only deny it. And now you've made the relationship weaker, and you just
Yeah,
destroyed a lot of the relationship.
but yeah, but I also agree. I also agree with a part of it where he said that you can have a conversation with a girl without actually saying that, hey, I think
Yes.
you're cheating on me. So
Yes.
you can have a communication about, for instance, I believe in full disclosure between spouse. I believe that if you're going to do something, just let the other person know. It may not be his business, but he should just know. You know,
Right.
if you're going to be spending time out with the girls, let them know. If you're going out with, I don't want to be seeing that on your status. You know, that moment where you're looking through the status and then you're seeing her posting pictures, and then you're like, oh, I thought you were home. Like, no, I
Right.
just, something just came up, and then I went out with the girls, and you're like, and then you're looking at the pictures and you're looking at the videos, and you're like,
Yeah.
this
Red
doesn't smell
flags.
right.
Right.
And then in that moment, do not voice your fears. Okay. But sometimes it's good to have a conversation about what is going on, and then just let the person know what makes you feel insecure. Deal with your
Right.
insecurities. Because
Yes.
sometimes some of these things are just insecurities. Some of these things are just things that, if you did something, I like the way you started this question. Yeah. Or attending to this question where you said the first thing is, if you have ever cheated on someone before
Right.
and you see your girlfriend doing something that the girl was doing at the time, especially when you cheated with a girl who was having a very serious relationship with some guy, and
Right.
so you were the one they were cheating on the boyfriend with. Now, when you have your own girlfriend, you would probably know all the, tactics about cheating, because you've been effectively very, very, you've been effective in that endeavor. So you know what it looks like. So
Right.
yeah.
So let's play some more of these messages from Heart of the Hood. He's got a lot to
Hmm.
say. We love it. Thank you.
I can
I
respect what
like
you're
it.
saying about projecting past issues onto his girlfriend because that
Thank
is
you.
true. It's called insecurity, I think. But at the same time, if you have dealt with somebody that does certain things, or if you've been in a relationship and in this last relationship, your ex always used to do this certain thing, and this is how you knew she was cheating, or every time she did this particular thing, it was only because she was cheating, and then his new girlfriend is doing the exact same thing, of course you're going to think she's cheating. You just got to get to the root of the
Hmm.
problem. But if you're holding on to an old pain, you shouldn't be in a relationship anyway. Not no old hurt like that. You're jumping from one relationship without even giving yourself the
Right.
opportunity to heal.
Right.
For what? Just to hurt the other person? Because that's what's going to happen. Because you was hurt, you get into another relationship, you're not hurt, and you don't even have time to heal. Then you're hurting that person.
Exactly.
Lose
Yeah.
situation.
We've talked about
I clap.
cartwheeling
Mm,
through. Yes. All
mm.
yes.
Yeah, that was
High,
good.
high five. But we've talked about cartwheeling through relationships and jumping from relationship to before you even have a chance to really assess who you are, what you want, what you need,
Yeah.
how to heal. So that's never
Mm,
a good idea. But at the same time, you can, like he said, if this next girl is doing the same thing, and you have, you got to trust your intuition and your instincts and your gut feeling, but also but you got to find a way to, you can't just jump and say, hey, I think you're cheating on me. Like you said, Z,
yeah.
there's got to be a way of having the conversation about trust. Like, you've got to make it about having insecurities about trust, not cheating, but like, how can we build more trust in the relationship, which is
Very true.
going to bring me to some other points that I thought of, but I want to get through this listener's comments first. Okay.
Wait. Just before you
Go
do
ahead.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it's important that, just tied to what you said, yeah. Have you ever seen a situation where a girl, and it's very common, yeah? I
Mm-hmm.
I for one had a lot of ladies. I have a lot of ladies as friends. Yeah. So
Playa.
yeah. No, I'm just more comfortable with ladies than guys. Anyway, the same thing happens to some ladies. There's some ladies that have more guys as friends,
I do. I
than
do.
okay, a player. You see,
Touche. Touche.
so you see, so you must understand that the fact that she has a lot of guys as friends does not necessarily mean that she's actually sleeping with all the guys that she has as friends. You know, that kind of thing. Because
Right.
sometimes you get into that mood where, especially when you're from two different ends, like you just feel like, if I have had a lot of girls, and that I've never had a girl that was my friend that I did not sleep with in court, and then all of a sudden I have this girlfriend who seemed to have a lot of guys as friends, and so you kind of move your characteristics and your behavioral pattern into this girl, and you think that, oh, now you can't be telling me you're 11 o'clock, you're with some guys, you're like with your friends and they're all guys. What are you guys doing? You know? You get what I'm saying?
Watching
So
the
you
end
need
of the
to,
football game. I don't know.
oh, there, are you guys praying or what? No, no. But again, you need to sort out your insecurities and don't pass it on. So I
That's
just
it.
wanted to add that. Yeah,
That's
let's
it. You
listen to
got
the
to
other message.
stand. You got to stand tall in your own in being secure in yourself. You have to decide to
Mhm,
do that in early on in the relationship. I am going to
mm.
trust. I'm going to be secure with myself, and I'm going to resist the urge to
Yeah.
feel, to project whatever onto this new relationship. Okay, go ahead.
That's the thing. If you get the proof, ain't no point in confronting her, because if she's cheating, let her go about her business. You go
If
out
you
and you
get
leave
proof.
her alone. Ain't no point in cheating back because she's cheating because you care about her. Leave her alone. It's simple as that. Like all that going
Right.
through a debate of why they cheating and what they did wrong and all that other type of mess. If she ain't had a heart to come to you and talk to you about what it was that she felt or how she felt with you, or maybe something was missing in the relationship, let her go. You going out and
Exactly.
finding proof is only going to cause her to kiss your ass, and then you're going to forgive her. And then after you forgive her, you're going to find yourself going through the same damn thing over and over again because you forgave her the first time. She's going to go back and do it again, like years later, if not right away. And then you won't
Right.
know. And then when you find out, now you're stuck again. All that, no, you just dragging yourself through mud. For what? You hate yourself that much?
Yes, but you still need the proof.
Yes, you still need the
That's
proof.
the thing. You still need to prove, because
Yeah.
the thing is you may like, oh, my going further to kind of find that proof would um would make it very difficult, but at least you satisfy yourself that, yeah, I wasn't just making it up. um and I remember I shared with you how, I don't know if I did, but um
Probably.
I was, yeah, I was in the room while my girlfriend was doing something with some other guy, in the bathroom, and then I was like,
Right.
I had
Yeah,
to
we did
wait.
talk
I
about
told
this.
you, yeah, and I
Yeah.
had to wait for her to get out of the bathroom and see me, yeah, because not it was the most painful couple of minutes for me, but
Yeah.
you just need to have something to hold on to and say, hey, just clarify your heart. Don't
Definitively.
work, yeah,
Definitively.
don't work
Yeah.
based on because it will hurt you the more if you realize that you broke up a relationship out of presumption or something that you thought was happening that did not happen.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's play this last voice note from Heart of the Hood.
I actually destroyed a relationship of my own all because of what somebody else said. No proof, just
See?
took their word. And because of what they said, I lost out on
Mm,
somebody very special to me. They hate my
mm,
guts now because I thought they was cheating. I got revenge, in a very disturbing way. I ain't gonna speak about, but
Revenge
I know that I
sucks.
was wrong then, and the person didn't do anything, so I was 100% wrong. But I did it to myself.
See,
you see,
there
thank you,
is.
thank you for sharing,
Thank you
thank you
for
for
sharing
sharing
that.
that, because
Yeah.
that's really key. It's part of, you see, I'm working on a novel. It's called Color Me Red, and in that novel, the main character was cheated on because the boyfriend thought that she cheated. It's a very funny story. It's that was fiction, but yet here is my brother telling me of something that happened in real life, where
Right.
you know that moment where you think that somebody did something and then you do something to pay them back, only to realize they didn't do nothing. So you like at the end of the day, it's just a fucked up situation,
Well, yeah,
you know.
you're left holding the bag because you jumped to an assumption that wasn't
Hmm,
true, or you listened to somebody who didn't have your best interest at heart and was
hmm,
jealous or trying to disrupt, because there are people that are just out there that have that find joy in disrupting other people's happiness. So yeah, you
hmm,
better make damn sure that you know for sure before you go and accuse. Plus, here's the other thing. Like I was saying before, if you're going to make an innocent situation out to be more than it really is, but if you have no proof, she'll, like I said, she'll deny it. But if you don't trust her, I mean, if there's no trust there, and we've said it before, there's not much hope for that relationship anyway. I feel like if
true.
you decide to confront her with no proof, the relationship is doomed anyway. But you really need to make sure you are not overreacting to something or just being paranoid, like you know our listener was when he did that to his girlfriend. You know,
And it's
so
very easy. It's very easy to, and that's why to wrap up this question, that's why I always talk about full disclosure for spouse. Like if you have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend, there's this moment where both of you kind of tell yourself stuff. There
yeah,
is there's no moment where I'm trying. Like for instance, if I want, there are times where I leave the house and I'm going to the city center and I'm not going to have use of my phone, or I'm going to the shop and I just leave my phone at home and stuff like that. And there are times where I just pick up my phone and then I tell her like, oh, I'm not going to be around. I'm going to be going here or going there. If you have full disclosure, the other person is
yeah,
relaxed, because the mind works in a very stupid way sometimes. When you at 11 o'clock try to call your girlfriend and she's not picking,
right.
and
Your
then you
mind
keep and then you call
automatically goes to
again,
that bad place.
and you call again and you call again and she's not picking. And then later on you see, and that's the thing about social media, you see her on Instagram, there is a picture of her by the swimming pool, or there's a picture of her and then you begin to think, what's going on? you,
Or
you get what I'm
actually,
saying?
something may happen, like she dropped her phone in the toilet and it's not working, or it just she was somewhere where
Exactly.
it died. I mean, there are legitimate reasons too. But just what? Before we wrap up on this question, I just had a couple of things too. At the end of the day, if you're not making a decision to be in that relationship, and you also if you decide to be in the relationship, you have to decide to trust that person until they actually do something to betray that trust, right? Then you
Perfect.
can, yes. But here, and I just want to say, here are a couple things you can, like, if you just have a hunch, but you actually have some sort of like issues that are coming up over and over again, where it's confirming your hunch. Like, does she hang up as soon as you come in the room on the phone? Like, does she get angry or nervous when you touch her phone? Does she go AWOL and not get back to you, like you were saying, for an extended period of time? If like you
Hmm.
answer yes to most of those questions, chances are you have like a very strong a suspicion that she's cheating. So I mean, but you still have to get, I don't know. At the end of the day, you got to figure out for yourself what really is, what constitutes the actual proof, you know?
Okay, can I ask you a random question and ask
Yeah.
our listeners a random question? Everybody, a random question. Yeah.
All
Let,
y'all.
let's assume let's assume that you have this girlfriend or this boyfriend. Let's use a boyfriend. You have this boyfriend that only calls you when he's on the road. He never calls you when he's in the house. Never. He's every time he calls you, he's on the road,
He's
going
living with
somewhere.
someone.
He's on the road going somewhere, and he doesn't call you when he's in the house.
He's
Um,
living with
and
someone.
then when he calls you in the house is only maybe when she's in the kitchen or when he's in the, he just finds some reason not to call you when he's in the house. So, what would you say?
He's got a significant other that he lives with, or he's married.
Dun-dun.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun,
Even
dun.
if it okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, but let's get this to, and then
I was going to say really quick too, if you still have a gut feeling, if it's constant, if your gut is gnawing at you that she's cheating and you can't let it go, you can't ignore it, you keep getting that sense, then don't force yourself to stay in that relationship, for God's sake. I mean, it's not fair to you.
But don't leave. But don't leave without saying. Don't leave without something. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's the thing. As much as you're eager to leave the relationship, yeah, don't leave without having something to hold on to, like something that says, "Hey, I left because of this," you know, and having that, and don't have that confrontation until you have that proof. So it's all interlinked, you know. You don't get out of the relationship.
Conversation.
You have a gut feeling that she's cheating on you. So find out, get some proof, and when you get the proof, confront the individual and then get out. Simple.
It is so simple when we say it.
Yeah, but it's you know, like it just it's as simple as that. Some things are just simple.
Let's take Zippy's voice note.
And I'm really glad I'm not in the relationship, so I don't have to tell anyone anything.
Right.
So I'm like, what are you doing out? I'd be like, man, it's the fucking weekend. Tell you what I'm doing. I fucking want. Goodbye to you. Good day to you.
Good day to you.
Like the phone call. Oh, the thought of having to fucking check in with someone and tell them what they're doing, like you're mad. Oh. No thanks.
I know.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. You know, like, you know, you don't have to tell. You know, it's so much freedom. I think that's one of the perks of not being in a relationship. Actually, you don't have to check in on someone. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. You don't have to do any of that. But again, that's just the perks, you know. But on the other hand, you're on your own. You don't have anybody to share stuff with and stuff like that. So they have the ups and downs. So I don't really want to go into that. But that's one of the perks of being single. You know, you don't have to check on anybody you like. Yeah,
it really is.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take these two, and then we'll take the next question.
Okay.
See, they'll be mad at me. Cause they only call me when they're on the road. I make sure whenever they call, like, hey, I'm having trouble hearing you. Here, you're going to have to call me back. I'm losing signal. You're traveling. Call me when you're sitting still. Then hang up. And always hang up. Be a routine. The dial tone and on the road will be like a team together. Like they're in a couple or relationship.
True.
I don't see the point of, if you're going to leave, what's the point in confronting a person about it? Why let them know? Why not just leave and leave them in the dark and let them just feel like, you know, whatever? You know, why even bother? Let them be lost and confused and just go about your business. Because at the end of the day, they're going to pester and come at you over and over again, and you just leave it in the dark. Don't say nothing. Let them think about it. Let them figure it out, because if you're leaving, it's obvious for a reason, especially if they did something wrong. And you shouldn't have to tell them because they know what they did, point blank.
Yeah, but here's the Z. We don't, in this question from this particular listener, he has no proof. So that's where I'm saying, like, and Z, I think, was saying, you have the conversation, and if he had the proof, then yeah, fuck her, kick rocks, bitch. Like, bye, Felicia. But if he's just got a gnawing, like, intense, unwavering feeling, that could just be him, and he needs to come to terms with and work out his own insecurities and distrust issues, or you know, and then in that case he has to leave. But you could, like, if you know for sure somebody cheated on you, bye. I'm not saying shit to you. Bye.
I'm telling you. And if you virtually get that proof, you saw them, you know, like,
done deal,
red-handed, just go. You know, I agree with you on that. Just go. But if you don't have no proof, nothing. No. Okay, I'm going to take the next question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to take the next question, and it's a very I'm just going to read it.
You want to take this last bubble from Heart of the Hood?
Okay.
Just before.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, then that's enough. That's enough proof right there. That's enough reason right there. Look, I'm leaving for the simple fact that I don't have no proof, and you're starting to make me think you cheating on me. I don't even want to get into it. Bye.
Well, if that's how you want to handle the relationship and that makes you feel comfortable, then you should be able to do that. I don't recommend it
Yeah.
in that way.
I don't either.
Right.
I don't either. I just feel like you would end up just making a very big mistake, and
You
if
could,
you
right.
left like that, you could be right, because sometimes your gut feeling is really, but also
sure.
you might probably be very wrong about it. So either way, just be careful.
Err on the
You know.
side of caution.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Okay. Next question. Um, you ready?
Yeah, I think. What is it? I forget. Oh, here we go. Yeah, go ahead.
My ex-boyfriend's wife. My ex-boyfriend's wife. That means your ex-boyfriend is married.
It already got deep. It got deep right in the first four words.
My ex-boyfriend's wife called me to inform me that my ex is depressed because of me. He thinks he made a mistake letting me go. He has left a lot of messages on my phone. I think this is toxic. How do I handle this?
Yeah, you think? Okay.
I know.
Oh my God. I have so much, of course, again, to say on this subject. Can we take Scott G's voice note real quick before we get into this, the meat and potatoes of this situation? Okay.
If you have a suspicion of somebody cheating, take it from my experience. They probably are.
Yeah.
Sometimes the insecurities, we will tend to be in denial and accept what's going on because of insecurities. But then when you finally find out and you eventually break up, there's your opportunity to work on yourself, grow, and hopefully this won't happen again to you.
That's a good point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
The
next one. Just quickly, the next one.
Oh yeah. You want me to? Yeah, go ahead.
So you think it's toxic that your ex-boyfriend wife called you to let you know that he's calling?
Okay.
Okay. We'll listen to it again, but let's hear you. Yeah.
I first off the rip, I don't like that the ex-wife is calling her in this fashion. Okay, that's like off the rip without like knowing anything else about it. I think that for me, it seems kind of suspect but there may be different kinds of relationships out there, like reasons why they're friends. They could have been friends, prior to her and him going out. They could be workplace friends. I don't know, but I'm going to reserve my judgment on that. But just that part of the question kind of gives me pause. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay,
you want to say something, or you want me to come in?
No. But I just wanted to make sure that you understood. Like, that part makes me feel uneasy, and I don't like in the question that she says, when the ex-wife called her to inform her that her ex is depressed because of me. Like, we'll get into that. So without knowing the ABCs of this relationship, it's, for me, I would cut ties and not discuss anything with the ex-wife at all. Like, if she's really embroiled in your life in some way, I would take steps to untangle myself from that kind of, that relationship with the ex-wife of your ex-boyfriend. Now, moving on, he thinks he made a mistake by letting you go. Well, that is his problem to deal with, isn't it? If you're not in love with him and you've moved on, then that's the situation at hand. Like, he needs to understand, like, he's got to deal with his own emotional state, his own feelings, and he can't put those on you to make you feel bad, to force your hand into something that, you've already moved on from. Like, if you've already moved on from the relationship, good. But he needs to handle himself. It's perfectly normal for you also to feel like you want to move forward and be happy in your own life. You shouldn't be made to feel guilty about not being in a relationship with him just because he's depressed. But even though you're no longer together, you still obviously have a heart, and you probably still care about him. But it can be very difficult to see somebody in that state, that they're hurting, even though you're not together. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I just begin by saying that it's toxic? Let's set that straight. That the whole scenario is toxic.
Yes.
Because when a relationship ends, I think that relationships, your ex is your ex for a reason.
Bingo was his name.
Exactly. It's for a reason. So do not, sometimes where you never know the value of what you have until you lose it. And it's true. Sometimes you see some people who think that, oh my God, I've always had her, like they can mess up, do all that stuff. They think that this woman, I'm married to her and she's mine. She can't do nothing, or I have her already and she can't go nowhere. That kind of thing. And like we said in previous talk discussions, that there are times where because you have this, especially with someone who has a low self-esteem, and then you psychologically abuse that person and you make that person feel worthless, and then at some point you think that this lady cannot leave me because she thinks, oh, nobody's going to have her, especially when you have verbally, psychologically abused her and isolated her, and she's in the house going through a lot psychologically. So you think she's not going to be able to go anywhere, and then you can go ahead and do your thing and you're misbehaving and all of that, and then one day she gets this freedom and then she leaves. She kind of comes to herself and realizes, oh my God, I'm killing myself here, and I'm in a relationship that's draining the happiness out of me and draining all my strength and everything. And she gets the courage to leave. And when she does, trust me, that's when that man realizes that, oh my God, I had this great treasure. Because the truth is, you can never, there's a reason you got into a relationship with that person. There's something you saw in her that you don't see in anybody else, and you decided to go into a relationship with her. Now, definitely you're going to miss that, but you have moved on. And the same with the other person. The other person had moved on too. So, but there's some the fact that he's in a relationship with the wife and having a conversation and bringing up the ex is toxic.
Very.
It's toxic in itself. And then the fact, yeah.
Go ahead.
And then the fact that the wife picked up the phone and called the ex,
herself into the situation.
That made it worse because I feel like it is not. So what are you calling her to do? To do what? To come and take over?
Right.
Or to come and what was the essence? I asked myself, what's it? Yeah. What were you trying to achieve?
That's where I was going to go with this. Is like, you may be compelled to do something out of sympathy, like this woman who sent in this question. You might be compelled to do something out of sympathy or respect for the relationship that you once had. But, it's important to kind of...
I don't encourage it.
No, I don't.
Funny thing is that I won't even encourage that. But I'm just curious as to what the woman who called is hoping to achieve making that call. But before then, I want to hear the voice message that we didn't listen to, and then we'll continue from there. So he doesn't think that we don't.
You'd be surprised how many people get into a relationship off of lust and lust alone. Because they're attracted to a person. They wind up fucking them the first night, then they just wind up being with them.
Oh no, there's a message before this one, yeah?
Oh,
Oh,
the
we can't
one
get it.
before.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Let me see.
because
I got it. Yeah.
we started it and
So
then
you
we
think
stopped
it's
that.
toxic that your ex-boyfriend and wife called you to let you know that he's calling her? How do you handle this? That's easy. You take one foot and then you place the other foot behind the other one. And you do that over and over and over again, really, really fast. I believe they called it running. And you keep running and you keep running until you find out that you have ran away because you shouldn't be there anyway.
That's 1,000%. Like, yes, you're on it. And listen, I want you to understand something, Zeno, and anybody listening, and the people that are writing the question. I'm not condoning. I'm in agreement completely with what he just said. Heart of the hood, like 1,000%. I'm with you on that. Run, don't walk to the nearest exit. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But I'm just saying, from a female's perspective, because we are like hyper emotional on occasions, and we try to like look at everything from every facet and every angle. Like she may be compelled to do something like out of respect for the relationship or out of sympathy for him. And I think that's what the ex-wife was trying to do, was to dredge up some sort of sympathy so that maybe she could step in and take care of this for her. But whatever it is, I think.
But what was she going to? What was she going to do? That falls back to my question. What I don't know. I don't know what because we didn't get a lot of information. However, what was she intending to achieve by? What was she thinking that the other person or the ex can do to help her husband?
She was to me, what stands out first and foremost is she's laying a guilt trip on this woman. She's laying a guilt trip on her. Maybe there's some jealousy. Maybe she's like, you know what? Because of you, he is my ex. Let's call him Tom. Tom is crying. He's drinking. So we don't know that for sure. We don't know the nature of the call, like exactly. But that's why I'm trying to approach this from kind of an analytical, kind of observant platform. Like, I don't want to just I don't want to go ham on this bitch that called her, right? Which was my first instinct, because I was like, damn, it's not your place. Like, she should say to the man, to the guy, the ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, listen, I'm not going to get involved. It's not my place. You need to handle your shit. I mean, ultimately, in a perfect world, that's what she should do. But also, if I'm looking at the relationship or the information I'm getting from the question between the girlfriend and the ex-boyfriend, was he always suffering from depression? We don't know that from the question. Or is it just a sentimental depression that he's experiencing because of the ending of the relationship? See, so there's a lot of factors here that we don't a lot of questions we don't have the answers to. Is his depression may be a combination of factors, right? So I'm just pointing out, like, you know,
but I think let me tell you a very funny story that happened somewhere in Africa. There was this guy who was dating this lady, and then the lady left him while they were married. They were married, actually. And while they were married, the lady actually was sleeping with her boss. And they realized at the end where the lady left him eventually, and then they realized that the children that they had while they were married, belonged to the boss. The evidence revealed that the boss was the true father of the children. Now, the point of the story is he actually, the marriage broke up, and then he got married. He got married to somebody else, and then died afterwards. And then everybody was like blaming the woman for the death of the man. And my quick response to this was, the guy actually moved on and got married to another woman. You see, there's this aspect of moving on. If you
Mm-hmm.
moved on and got into another relationship and then got married to the other person, I don't see the whole guilt trip of going back to kind of make the
Right.
lady you left feel bad about, it's your own shit. It's your own
Yeah. He
thingy.
decided at the end of the day to break up. And there's a
Yeah.
reason why you, like you said, there's a reason why you both broke up in the first place. So she
Hmm.
deserves to move forward and be happy, like Heart of our listener, Heart of the Hood said, to run and to move forward with her life and to be happy. And that's not selfish. I mean, that's
No,
just
it's not.
logical. So I don't think, I know she may really want to like maybe backtrack and help and she might feel compelled to run herself ragged to try and do something for him. But at the end of the day, it's his own mental state that he's got to he's in charge of and that he has to figure out how to heal himself, you know?
Yeah. And there's nothing, and to be very candid, categorically clear, there is nothing this lady can do for him.
No,
Nothing.
no,
In
absolutely.
fact, if she decides to resume contact with this man, it's not going to help the man or help the relationship that he now has,
Yeah.
the marriage relationship that he now has with the woman. So the whole essence is defeated. There is
And
nothing
it
that she can do. The best thing that she can do at this moment is to
block,
actually
cut
block,
ties, move forward.
cut ties,
Yeah.
like that guy said. Put you on one feet after the other feet and after and then just
Run,
run. Like
Forrest. Yeah.
leave them, because the more you get involved in that, the more you're dragged into that, the more you have this emotional, because the truth is, oh my God, you just need to get out of it. You just need to
And it
cut
seems because it
ties.
does seem very convoluted, very messy. And I
It
don't know
is,
why he
yeah.
ended the relationship, but it seems clear that he needs to help. He needs to manage his own depression before he can get into any relationships. He
Yeah.
needs to deal with his own emotional state before just getting back together isn't to try to fix your mental state. It's just like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. I mean,
It's not
it's
gonna
like
work.
a gape. It's not going to work. He's the only
It's
one
not
that
gonna
can
work.
help himself. And so
Yeah.
let's listen to these messages real quick.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand why is it that she gotta be a bitch? Seriously, what'd she do to you?
Oh no, I'm just saying. I was just saying, and I did say, like devil's advocate, she may be a wonderful woman, but 9 times out of 10, I've dealt with ex-wives before, especially bartending, and especially I have a couple ex-husbands. So I am an ex-wife, but I know, like I was just saying, just putting it out there. She may be,
Yeah.
start. It seems like from the question she was trying to stir the pot.
Ah,
Because
yeah.
if you're, it seems to me that somebody who's got like emotionally on the ball, she would guide her ex-husband to try to get some therapeutic help. Like, listen, I'm not going to call your ex-girlfriend. You need to let's focus on you. What do you need? We need to get you maybe into a doctor, or maybe to have you work on yourself emotionally and get your mind right. Not moving
Or
backwards.
well, oh wait. I was just thinking about this. Yeah, is it possible that she thinks that both of them are perhaps still trying to contact themselves, and so you're like, just a little bit. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that moment where you think that, why is he always talking about this girl? Are they still in contact? Are they still talking to themselves? And then you pick up the phone just trying to find out if, just in case, are you guys still talking? Because he's always talking about you, and he's always saying this about you, and he's always feeling sad about you. Are you guys still talking? I just feel like sometimes you just have that trip, just trying to be sure that she's not actually having any contact with the husband, just
Yeah,
just a
I
just a
agree
little
with
part of
that.
me thinks it.
I feel like that's true. And I also, I feel like a lot of us can relate to how difficult it is. It's like walking a tightrope, when you try to manage your own emotional state after a breakup and still try not to feel responsible or guilty for someone else's, like your ex's mental state. Like they're trying to suck
Hmm.
you into making you feel guilty or bad, but yet
Don't do
you're
that.
trying to move forward and trying to heal yourself. You're not responsible
Yeah.
for his healing. Let's listen
True.
to these voice notes real quick.
You know, I'm sitting here drinking this peanut butter whiskey, eating peanut butter and raspberry preserve sandwiches. Thinking to myself, am I drunk? Because they say a drunk person speak a sober mind. And I've been sipping on this whiskey all morning. It's afternoon now. This isn't good. Hope I'm not turning into an alcoholic. Then again, my name isn't Al, so that might not be possible. I might have too much to drink.
Okay.
Next question. No comments.
That's crazy.
No
they
comment.
make any kind of flavored liquor anymore. All flavors. It's crazy what they put in alcohol.
He said he got married to somebody else that died. Damn, I guess he won't cheat again. I guess he can't cheat again. That's jacked up. Hold up, you saying the boss died? Or did the one that didn't have who children it was that had died?
I think he's confused about. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the story that I told. It's the guy who, the guy whose wife actually was cheating on him with the boss. The guy died. Died of a heart problem and stuff, of depression and something like that. So people were thinking, oh, it's because of what the woman did because he found out that the children he had were not his children after a DNA test, and that the children belonged to the wife's boss, who she was sleeping with at the time that they were married. It was a messy situation. It was
That is
very
such a kick in the dick.
yeah, it was on the news. In Nigeria, it was a very big case, and the guy was the chairman of a bank, or was a chief executive of a bank in Nigeria, a big bank, and so it was big news at the time. And I was thinking, oh, you died because I was just looking at it from the aspect of the cause of death, and I'm like saying everybody thinks it's the wife that killed him, the ex-wife actually. Yeah, and all of that. But I'm thinking that, okay, this thing happened a couple of years ago and you got mad, you were able to get over it, to start a new relationship, and then you got married to your new wife who's now pregnant, and then you died as a result of what your old wife did to you. That's so messed up.
Can I say something, Z?
Tell me.
I'm gonna anyway. I was just thinking, like, if my ex-boyfriend's ex-wife called me and tried to say, like, oh, Mitch is really depressed and he's drinking and he's suicidal, and I'd be like, first of all, that's not my problem. And
exactly.
why are you calling me? Why are you calling me?
What do you want me to do?
You're far removed from this. You're not in my bubble. I'll say bitch because it goes good. Alliteration. But you ain't in my bubble, bitch.
but that's the same question that I asked. I asked at the beginning, like, what was she trying to achieve by making that call? You must be able to say to yourself, I'm going to achieve this from making this call. I think there is somebody who wants to join our conversation. Who's
It's Heart of the Hood. He's been sending us the voice notes all show. Thank you so much. I don't know if you're interested in bringing another person on, but we
just have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah,
so
last few minutes of the show.
Yeah, we can do that. It's fine as long as you're not. You've been talking since, so you're in the groove. So yeah, let's add him.
Do you know how to do that? I've not done it before. Do we just approve? I'll try it.
I think it's just approve.
You do it because my iPad doesn't always work. Heart of the Hood.
Okay.
Tap.
You go.
Thank you very much. Y'all been saying so much. I've been wanting to talk, and I'm like, oh man, these guys is killing me. I gotta say something.
We're happy that you've been with us from the very beginning. We're happy that you've made some contributions, and I think that's the one thing that I was talking to Hard the other day and said, hey, what's the criteria for getting somebody else in? And I say, criteria is if the person had been following the show and sending very useful comments and contributions. Yeah, you got that.
Thank you.
Definitely respect that. The topic alone is what brought me to this group because I'm just like, wow, I be always writing about relationship issues and different things that got to do with relationships all the time. And I wrote this
Mm,
thing back in 2016, if you guys don't mind hearing it.
No,
mm.
absolutely.
Tell me.
Okay, what I wrote was in a situation where trust is lost, anger slowly builds, and moments have become hate. A small circle of curiosity began rotating around the idea of what happened, blocking any hope for forgiveness. In time, the anger have grown into something that most people fail to see. To label what had been created could push a person to be in denial about the facts. In fear of consequences, the truth is swallowed up by a swarm of small white lies. The first lie was only here to protect the truth. The truth and trust stand strongly to keep our companion at peace, but the swarm is getting bigger. The transformation happened so fast that the comprehension of the fact that guilt was once the truth is shameful. Now, guilt release is a piece of shame that was so overwhelming that the only thing that mattered was comfort. Who could really say
Mm,
when a feeling of comfort is needed, something missing comes into play? Determined to fix the
mm.
problem, a 360 return is made and back to the root of the problem. Oh man, I forget how long that is.
That's
That's good.
really, really good. Um, clapping, standing
Yeah,
O.
I'm clapping myself, man. That's really good. That's
I
As I
just
really
wanted
said,
to
good.
say that was that you read it pretty quickly, and I was really straining my
no,
ear to
I
try to listen
quoted
to
it. I
everything.
know I know about her now, and I didn't perform at an open mic before because I normally do poetry, but that one right there,
Oh,
I wrote that. And I performed that about maybe 3 times on stage. And ever since the third time, I know about heart now. So a lot of people request for me when they see me in person. They be like, "Oh, you should quote that thing that you quoted before when you was doing open mic poetry." I'm just like, what do you mean?
What is the name of that piece?
Never titled it. Only the reason I
Okay.
wrote it is because I was with my niece, and my niece just started snapping out of nowhere. I didn't understand why. It was the middle of the night, and it's
mm,
like I didn't know what to say or what to do, so I just started writing, and that's what I wrote. But then when she came out and calmed down a little bit, I said, "Can I get your opinion on this?" And she was like, "Sure." And she read it and she started crying, and I was like, "Is it that bad?" And she was like, "No. What happened was, she said her baby father, he said that he wasn't messing with this chick some time ago, and he got a text message from the chick saying he got to take a DNA test for a baby the night that I was there." And this is
mm,
why she
Oh
was
wow.
snapping and having a fit. And I explained to her,
Oh
I'm like, at the end of the day, I know you care about him, but if you going to send him out that door, he going to want to be comforted. His ex or the chick just texted him and told him that, he got to take a DNA to her baby. I'm pretty sure he going to hit her up and say when to take the DNA for the baby. And she going to tell him to come over. Now he ain't in the house. He can come over now. A year later, you're going to get another text message because another baby going to pop out. So it's going to be a
mm.
360. So if anything, you either fix the problem or move on, one or the other. But she
yeah.
wound up calming down, and they came to their differences and they fixed the problem. But I don't like drama, not even a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does bring up a very interesting point about when you go through life and you something happens in a relationship, or you make a mistake, or not coming to terms with your actions and letting things fester. They
Hmm.
will
Mm,
eventually resurface, like you said, 360. It'll come back.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
so it's
Facts.
best to deal, because there's going to be fear in dealing with, however you deal with it. If you ignore it, you're going to fear the problem, and if you deal with it head on, you're going to fear the problem. But which road is going to bring a resolution and eventually cause you to grow and to have your life put on the right path, right? It's the one where
Indeed.
yeah.
yeah.
And to add to that is that, it's one sure thing is that you cannot sweep it under the carpet. You cannot ignore it. You've got to deal
Right.
with it at some point. Either
Yep. Head on.
either way, you just gotta confront it. At some point, you cannot ignore it. You got to confront the problem. And so, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
I really appreciate you sharing that piece with us. It's
I,
beautiful.
I was honored. I love sharing my work. It's like ever since this Corona thing, I don't do open mic anymore, so I'm not able to get on stage and perform like I'm used to performing. So I'm rusty with a lot of my work and a lot of things I haven't shared with
It's
people. It's
like a
only
bicycle.
yeah, that is true. But the
just
problem
keep
is
writing.
That's the
Just
thing.
keep writing them
I do
though.
keep writing, but I don't get a chance
Mm.
to share it. So it's like
Share
I'll
it,
write it
right?
and then it go into my collections of other things that I wrote. And then by the time I actually get back to it, I'm just like, wow, I wrote this almost 2 years ago. I'm just getting back to see what this is. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm like, I haven't
See,
even stopped to go through none of
that's
my
the
old
beauty of
work.
this app too, is now you can do a show by
We can
yourself.
do a show. I was even saying that we can actually do a show together. I'm actually
Yeah.
going to schedule a show with you, so we can do that just sometime during the week, and we can actually just
Yes.
do that together, even if it's for an
Yeah.
hour or two, and then we can actually talk about your stuff, and you can read it out, and we can actually have that open
Yeah, that's awesome.
open mic situation.
That's the
So
beauty of the stereo app.
And this
yeah.
is one of the reasons I do like this app because normally I come on here and I'll be quoting stuff, but at the same time I'll throw a beat on and I'll come on stereo and I'll just go to a random person and I'll start to speak, and the way
Mm.
that I speak it'll come out actually real unique, and it makes it seems like I'm actually trying to spit or some shit like that. But I ain't the type
Mm.
to try to rap, but at the same time with the beat on it actually sounds like that. Y'all notice the way that I'm speaking, the round it's right to the beat, it actually comes it sounds like it's real unique, like it's actually supposed to be. But I can actually do that with
On a
most of the
bit.
things that a little bit. Well, I could do that to most of the things that I listen to. Any type of random beat, I can speak to it, and if I speak to it long enough, then I'll start to flow to the beat and make my words connect with the words. And I don't know, it's real strange what I can do, and I've been
That's the
using the
artist.
opportunity.
That's the artist in you.
But that's the thing, I'm
All
not
right.
supposed to be an artist.
Yes.
But then you are. So funny thing is that you didn't choose it; it chose you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
so yeah,
interesting.
but really on a serious note, I'm going to actually contact you a lot later, and then we're going to fix a show for
Oh, we got
this
a
week.
message.
And yeah, we got one. Oh, we
That's my
got a
pal
message,
Zip.
and then we got
Zip.
All roads lead drama. That's the a common misconceptions about relationships is that you can avoid drama. No, you can't. People will fucking hate you no matter what you do. It's like, tell me the easy way to break up with someone that causes them less emotional pain. No, there isn't. So, like, gotta confront issues. Get stuck in. Get a fucking slap in the face. It's like it turns out it's healthy. But, yeah, no, I don't. I think the idea of trying to have relationships about drama is, I don't know. Whenever there's passion, there's drama, guys.
That's true.
I think
I know
so.
nothing about relationships.
I agree with
know nothing.
Yeah,
My pal from
I
Belfast.
I get the
Thank you, Zip.
I get the feel I get the feeling, sometimes because of this drama, because of this um situations that happen, sometimes I say to myself, I'd rather be alone and be all by myself and stuff like that. That's why a lot of people are still single, because the whole drama thing just doesn't work with me sometimes.
Yep.
Like,
I'm single.
oh no, I don't want to do this. Oh no, I
Leave
don't
the
want to do
drama
that.
for your
Oh,
mama.
because you just kind of like get to a point where you don't feel those stuff. You're happy, you do your thing, you help people, so yeah, I feel him, and I understand where he's coming from. And then because of time, we're just going to spend the next couple of minutes talking about, or maybe we can just brace through the next question. Can we?
Oh no.
What's the time?
Yeah.
No, we
we're gonna
can't.
have to save
So
the next question.
what we're going to do is we're just going to do some random talks, and then just slowly get to the end of the show. But there's somebody who actually wanted to join in the conversation, and the reason I didn't add that person is because I've not heard a comment from that person, so I don't,
Yeah.
that's the problem. I just think it's important that we hear the person contribute, and so we can know what he's talking about.
Heart of the Hood's been putting in the work today. He put in the work.
Yeah, he has, and so therefore it
Yeah.
was
Trying to do
imperative
my
to
8
get him
hours.
on board. Get him on
Thank
board
you.
and stuff, especially with the argument part. That was really cool.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you.
really
Yeah.
cool. And we've
Appreciate it.
done some great job today. Like we've talked
We
about
did a lot
some
of good work.
some really serious stuff, and I think that the most important thing for every person sitting here today or listening to us today is that, and I think this is one thing that has run through every conversation we've had from day one, and that is the importance of communication, the importance of being able to talk to the
Number
person you're
one,
dating.
numero uno,
It is telling
communicate.
you, it is a thing. I think that sometimes, um, but let me tell you this. Let me ask you this, two of you, yeah. If you have a relationship with someone, yeah, and you do so much testing and you flow when you test, but you don't flow when you talk. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like you
Yes.
when you're testing, it's all magic. You know, you guys have a lot of stuff to talk about. But when you make a call, it's always, how are you? Fine. How was your day? Okay. What you doing? I'm okay. I'm all right. You know. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think there's a problem right there?
Heart of the hood, I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Those situations like that is normally because if it's the beginning of the relationship, that means it's not going to go that far that fast for the simple fact that there's no trust there. Either one person or the other person thinks that they may or may not be full of shit, you know. And on another
Hmm.
hand, you know, it be on a level of the person just they're not taking an interest in you. If you talk to somebody and they reply to you with one word answers or one word text and they don't have more to say than just that, then their interest is not where it's supposed to be. I mean, that's just how I feel about the situation. Because there's times where I talk to people and it's like I'll be ready to like not want to say anything, and I just come out my mouth and say okay, and I'm just like leave it at that, But then there's times where people say stuff, and I'll be ready to give them more and more feedback. But I notice the ones that I don't give feedback to like that is because I just think that they full of themselves and they're just speaking just to get me to speak.
Yeah.
But
My
Yeah.
point here is if they
Can
do the
can
talking,
I?
like when they chat, yeah,
Yeah.
before you go on, when they chat, they talk a lot. Like when they chat, they have a lot to talk about. But when they talk on the phone, like when they talk on the phone, they don't have as much to talk
Yeah.
about.
Can
oh,
I just say really quickly, my ex-boyfriend Mitch, the one that I've talked about before on this
Hmm.
show, seemed to
The famous guy.
exhibit with the famous Mitch, the emotionless, sexless, yeah, boyfriend.
Yeah.
This was exactly the thing that used to drive me crazy in the relationship. 3.5 years, he would text these very eloquent texts. I mean, they were full of
Hmm.
like information, and then when we were in
Hmm.
person,
Hmm.
nothing,
that
nothing,
make
and
you
it would
question if it
drive
was him.
me. Well, you know what it was? I think Heart of the Hood. This is NZ. This is what, and I've talked to you about Mitch before. I don't
Hmm.
think his emotional state, I think he suffered from Asperger's. And I think for him, he was on the spectrum, low
What's an
level spectrum of
Asperger?
autism. It's like having it's like a form of autism where Asperger's is you have difficulty forming relationships with people. You have your emotions are not they're not very they're difficult for you to express. I mean, there's a lot about this disease, like a developmental disease, but that was part
Hmm.
of what I really felt like I was dealing with because there was no emotion, there was no romance, there was no other than anger. He was unable to express even joy, even joy. There was no laughter. But that's the thing; it would drive me crazy because there would be these texts, and I'm like, okay, he gave me a lot of information in those texts. But when we were together, there was no
Hmm.
conversation and discussion. And I felt like because then that was now he was away from the keyboard, he was hiding, he could mask himself through a phone, but
So
in face to face, the emotional state, the emotional realness of it was too much for him to be able to do.
Hmm.
That's
you
how I
ever
Hmm.
felt.
tried you ever tried texting him while he was right with you? I mean, just to be sitting right now on the side of him and just send him a text message, see if he'll
But
reply back the same way.
But that's awkward, isn't it?
It may be
Yeah, it shouldn't be
awkward, but
that
at the
way
same
anyway.
time, it
That's
would have question. It
that's
would have answered whether or not it just was more. It was easier for him to be able to communicate with you through text without being able to look at you in your eyes and feed you some
Exactly.
BS.
And
Because
that's
he
a
might have been
problem.
feeding you BS
That's a
through
problem.
text. You said that's a
but the
problem.
thing
He want to
but
hear
the
the
thing
words
is the
come out of
thing
his mouth.
but the
That's
thing
a
is
problem.
yeah, it is a big one, because at the end of the day you realize that you need to have that conversation. Some people are very okay with not being able to with being able to tap on the keyboard, like you said, like hide behind it and just say a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. You
He
don't
was a
have,
keyboard king.
exactly. The thing about testing is that there is no no accountability to testing. To be very candid, if you're
Right.
testing someone, you can say anything. You can actually say whatever
It's
you can be
flat.
very expressive in all of that through a test, but sometimes you need to be able to translate that to your conversation in person,
Reality.
because that's the
Yeah.
key. Yeah, if you're on the phone, you should be able to talk a lot about stuff. There's one thing about conversations. Yeah, when everything, again, everything is going to. There are times where your body would not be able to take all the physical activities that you guys do and stuff. When that time comes, only these conversations that you have would remain. That's the only thing that would stand. That's the only
And
thing
and
that would
Z
make them sense.
and Z and Hood, that was the issue too. It was if you the conversation trying to have a conversation with my ex-boyfriend was like pulling teeth. I felt like it was like no balance. Like I said earlier, everything was on me. So the weight of the relationship for conversation or for emotional, to show emotion, to emote, everything was on me constantly, and it wore me down because I felt like he wasn't sharing any of the emotional or, even on a friendship level load, if
Hmm,
that makes
hmm.
sense. Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah.
we've got
So
so many
so we're going to
listeners, and we're so
so
popular
let's
now, 2 hours after the
oh,
fact.
just yeah, and I think the timing, maybe because it's a bit early, but I don't know. We're going to talk about something later about the timing, and let's see if we can actually balance the timing a bit, because the
That
later
was a
I
great
realized
question, though,
that
Z. That was a great question, though. Real,
yeah, yeah,
real.
it
Got
is, it is.
4 messages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mushrock, what's up?
If your girl cheat on you with your brother, would you forgive her?
Dun 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 dun
Dun
dun dun.
dun
Wait.
dun.
There is that soundtrack that you actually played the other time. Please, we need that soundtrack
I
sometime,
know, you're right.
for things
I
like
need to
this.
get my sound bites up.
But I'm going to start with I always start with the lady. I love the ladies talking first. So I always start with the lady. So I don't know, I don't know if you don't mind, let's let the lady answer. Uh-huh. That is it. That is the soundtrack. So I'm going
Yeah.
to but first, I usually will allow the lady talk first, but this question is something that has to do with the man. So let's start with the man in the house, and then I would turn the question a bit to see if we can make it if your husband cheats with your sister. But let's do the man first, and then I hope you don't mind.
You asking me? Oh, let me see.
Hood, yeah, Hood.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if
you
my brother
first.
slept with my girl, I would forgive
Mm.
her. Only be for the simple fact that I would no longer be with her. But I would definitely forgive her to the point where I know I'll keep my distance from her, but I would definitely forgive her and say she's a good friend. And I'll let her know because I'm from the hood that saying that it ain't no fun if my homies can't have none is only a saying. You wasn't supposed to sleep with my brother, is in a way. But I would definitely
Right.
forgive her. If she hit me up and asked me for help, needed something or whatever the case may be, I would still be there for her as a friend. But anything more than that, because I'm a forgiving person. I can forgive just about any and everything because
Will you
life's too
forgive your
short.
brother?
Oh yes, I will forgive my brother too because he did me a favor.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's an
Yes,
interesting
he
perspective.
did me a favor.
That
He let me know that she was not pure. He let me know that I didn't need to
By
be
doing
wasting my
that?
time. Yes, absolutely. He let me know that I don't need to be wasting my time with her. I mean, he could
That's an
come out and
interesting
say that.
perspective.
He could come out and say that all he want, that she's unfaithful, she's going to cheat, all this other type of stuff. But those are just his words. I don't have any proof. And if he come out and sleep with her, that is 100% proof. So therefore, there's no reason for me to be mad at him. There's no reason for me to be
So
mad
you're
at her.
going to give wait. You're going to give your brother a high five for sleeping with your wife? Like,
Honestly,
are you
we
kidding
might go out and drink. We might go out
Oh,
and drink, wind up in a strip club or something.
now I need to talk to the lady. I need to listen to the lady. You just threw me off my chair right now. So, lady, please talk to me.
Ooh, hood.
Oh my God.
Hood.
Oh my God.
Just say,
I'm not.
first of all, if the words you're saying right now to us and to the general public are true, I give you mad respect, because it takes a very strong person within themselves to be able to forgive their sibling and or their girlfriend or wife for betraying them in that fashion. If you really feel like that, I doff my proverbial cap to you, sir. But I am somebody who was literally almost in that situation with my ex-husband. My ex-husband, my high school sweetheart, we were married. I was pregnant with my first child. I was in Florida with my mother visiting my grandparents when he and my sister went out drinking, and he tried to put the moves on her in the bedroom after they got back to the house or whatever. I did not find out about this situation until years later when he and I were going through our divorce and my sister fessed up. Now, nothing came of it. Not that I believe her 100%, but at the time I was mad at both of them. But over time, I could see what you're saying, Hood, as far as like it kind of put a spotlight on what type of person my ex-husband was. So over time, though, it's been years. I forgave them both, but I do not have a relationship with either of them. So you can forgive people and still be okay with not having a relationship. But there were other factors why I don't have a relationship with my sister. But that was one of them.
But see, you know what it is? With the stuff that I say, it may seem strange and it may seem like it's in a way, and people like, oh, no, I couldn't do that. But a lot of people say they couldn't do that. But a lot of people, they have to do that in time, because if you're holding on to a pain of something that happened to you in the past for so long, it's going to turn you into a bitter person. And if you allow yourself to turn to this bitter person, then you're stopping yourself from becoming the person that you're supposed to be, because you're turning something you're not supposed to be, because we're not supposed to be running around here being bitter, not even a little bit.
Right. But holding a grudge and being bitter is separate from having a relationship or continuing a relationship with the toxic person, even if they are a family member. So, for me.
I will. Let me tell you what I'll do. Wait, before you ask me, I'm going to tell you what I'll do. Now, I would forgive them, but I won't have a relationship with them in any way. I have a way of closing the door, and I have a way of closing the door and throwing the keys somewhere I can find them, because I'm not going to hold bitterness against either of them. But forgiveness does not necessarily mean you have to reconnect.
Exactly.
That's my key. I would forgive you. You've done your thing and all that. But I think that my brother sleeping with my wife is disrespectful to me.
Right.
So I'm not going to give him a high five, no matter what he decides to say. Hey, I'm trying to prove something. No, you can prove it some other way. But you sleeping with my wife is disrespectful to me. So I'm definitely going to be very mad. Either way.
What was the question, Hood?
I said, would you feel better if he was to like pimp her out, take her out on the strip, and have her sleep with some people for money, and then come back on show?
That would be.
I mean, what would you better? Him sleeping with herself, or him going out and selling her? Like, yeah, we made $1,000 tonight. Told you she was a whore.
Wait. The thing is, you have two evils here now. So that's a lesser evil. But you doing the act yourself is like, man, you just disrespected me. You doing that also disrespects me, but not in the same level as you actually doing the act yourself. So I
would. So it'll be better if a total stranger did it.
Yes, it will be better if it would not be good, but it would be if you have two evils, you have to choose the lesser one to be the lesser one.
Okay,
Yes.
so
because
if let's say the
it's
girl got
just a
chosen by you, it's not just some random girl, it's somebody you got children with, and you got children with this person. Would you rather her cheat on you with a random stranger and have a child by another stranger, or a child by
No,
your
no,
brother?
no. See, these are all extreme conditions. The question at hand
that's
was, let's stick to the question at hand, and
Okay,
let's
my
stay on task.
apologies.
No,
Okay,
that's
my
okay.
fault.
I know you're
no,
very
it's
passionate
fine.
about it, and I appreciate that. But the question at hand is, like, if your brother slept with your wife, would you forgive him? You can forgive. For me, you can forgive, but you don't have to have a relationship. I and
Exactly.
that would be for me. Now for you, Hood, you could say I would forgive him, and I would actually appreciate him showing me what type of woman she was, and I can see how you can come to that. But most people would not feel that way. Most people, like Z, you would feel like it was such a betrayal of your
Yeah,
brother because your
yeah,
family, and how could you step over that line? That's
yeah.
that's the
But
typical feeling. But
wouldn't that just make it
everybody's
seem like the
different.
female was the one that's in the wrong in the situation and not the brother? Because if the
I think they're
female is
both.
the one,
They're both,
Mm-mm,
both,
mm-mm,
both,
mm-mm. Most of the time, when you see when
both.
situations like this happen, we always want to make the woman the victim.
The
No,
woman, the
no,
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 yeah.
only
no.
there's a reason
I
behind
want
I'm
that there.
saying why the this now I'm not saying the woman's the victim. I'm saying that
Hmm.
just like
To blame.
if I was the woman and it was the man that cheated, or the man that slept with my sister, or the man that slept with my aunt, you know, it
Hmm.
would be the person that's in the middle. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be the family member. Can't be the family member because the family will always be family no matter what. You know, if this person is out doing this, that,
No,
and the third.
no, you're
No,
blood
I
related
don't.
no
I
matter
don't think
what.
I would. I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
I would
yeah.
actually.
Put it
Blood
that way. Yes,
related no matter
yes.
what.
You're right. You're
But I
right.
think I think to a great extent here. You know, if 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 the husband actually slept with someone, sometimes you're like thinking, oh, is it that this person is at fault or this person is at fault? They both did the stuff.
They're
They both
both.
are.
Both.
They're both.
Yeah.
They're both. You know, even if my wife seduced you, you should have the decency to say, hey, this is my brother's wife. That's
A
respect
thousand
that you
percent.
have to me. You like,
Yeah.
I have respect. The reason I never cheated, let me say this categorically here for everybody listening. I've never cheated. And the reason I've never cheated is out of respect for the person I'm dating. And that's all.
Yeah.
Not because I cannot, but because I have maximum respect for the person I'm dating. And that's
Can I just
disrespect.
say Mushrock came into the show and just dropped a stick of dynamite and ran away.
We got 3 messages that are like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Now listen, the girl been with you for over 5 years. She been loyal, but she slept with your brother because she was drunk one night, and when he came in the room, she thought it was
Doesn't
you.
matter.
But she don't have no feelings for your brother, but she fucked him. Would you still fuck with her?
Nope. Still a
Ah,
betrayal
there.
of trust.
No, still the same thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. After what he just said, if we've been together for 5 years and she was drunk and she didn't know that it wasn't me, I can
Same
actually
thing.
understand it because the situation have occurred before, and I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You know, you hop in the bed, and I ain't gonna hold you. I done it. You know, I hopped in the bed.
Sa-
You know, and when I got in the bed, you know, I slid my dick into pussy because that's what I do because I was in a relationship at the time.
Because that's
But
what I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I mean,
See?
That's
if
the
you in
thing.
a
That's
That's
what I
the
do.
try to understand something.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
If
See,
this is the thing, if you are in a relationship and you used to coming home and your girl be in the bed sleep and she ain't got nothing
No.
on and you just slide dick up inside her, you're not trying to see who the
nah,
hell it is. And that's
You're
pretty much what I
nah.
rationalizing
did.
the situation. Here's
If
the
you were
thing.
able,
If yes,
see,
go.
if
Go.
you were able, if you were able to find your way home without
Yes.
jumping into some garbage and thinking that garbage is your room,
You're better.
then
Right.
you are good enough, you are sane enough to distinguish between some girl and some other girl. I'm
But
telling you,
that's the
man.
thing. I
See,
don't drink out though. I don't drink out. I had a bar in my
Let
basement. My bar was in my
okay.
basement. I would drink in my basement, and then I went upstairs,
same
got in
thing,
the
man.
bed, and I did
If
not
you can
know that
find your
my girlfriend had invited her girlfriends
no.
over, and one of them was in my
Mm,
bed sleeping. I did not know
mm.
this. They had the exact same color, dark behind here. They both was light
No, you're
skinned.
going too far.
No, no, you must
No,
know. You
because
must know. See,
You're now
see,
writing a
you
no,
story.
must know.
because
You're
Let me tell you
writing
because
a
something.
she
screenplay
because
for a movie.
when she came up there and I
Wait,
was in there with
wait,
her and she said
wait,
something and I'm just like, okay,
no,
but
there
all was
is a way.
forgiven.
See,
All
see.
was
I'm
forgiven.
No,
dead.
there
I'm
is a,
fucking dead.
there is a way. There is a way. There is a way that human being, every human being have their own individual scent. You know that, yeah?
They
Every
have their
human
own
being, when you
Right.
get
aura. They sent their
you,
aura
you
absolutely.
exactly, you feel it. So there is no way you say, oh, I was so drunk that I saw somebody else and I thought it was, there's a point where you just get to and you know this person is different and the other person will know, obviously. So there's always this I don't like the whole what they call it,
If you
excuse of I was drunk and so
if
Yes.
you
therefore, you know.
drinking and you
Listen,
kissing on a person in
Hood,
your bed back of their neck and you normally
Hood,
having your wife there all the time, you're not gonna
Hood.
pay attention to whether or not that's the same,
uh,
Steve,
especially they got the same
Steve,
Let
body
me hear the
shape.
woman.
time out.
Let me hear the
Time
woman.
out.
Let's hear the
Time out.
woman. Yeah.
Okay, listen. I'm going to say one thing, and I want you to hear me. The
Mm,
situation and the question at hand, if you got drunk and it was a drunken escapade and it was your wife and your brother, right? They know that they're together out having a good time. They know where
mm,
they're, even if you're still, if you have the wherewithal to get yourself home, like Z said. But
mm.
here's what hits me. You, for that to happen, there had to have already been some underlying attraction or
Because a
some
drunk
sort
person
of
speaks
Yeah.
a sober mind.
underlying
Mm-hmm.
desire for it to get to
Mm-hmm.
that point to where your inhibitions are lowered and then the sexual encounter happens. So it's not
Yeah.
not it's typically not just like a random thing. Oh, we were
So in other
drunk,
words,
she
you're
was
saying
wearing the
this is
same dress.
Hold
premeditated.
on, hold on, hold on. Let the lady
No,
finish. Hold on.
it's
Go on.
it's typically it is.
Mm,
Typically it is. In the
mm.
back of the mind, there's an attraction, and then there's the setting up of the situation, and then there's the results. So it's
Yeah.
I really feel that the very more often than not, I'm just gonna say that, that is the case.
And I agree with you. Honestly. Can we play the other two questions while we have like
Yes,
10 minutes
please.
more?
I'm
Please.
sweating. I'm schwitzing. It's this conversation's got me all heated.
What's called Mitch? Who the hell's called Mitch? Like, God bless him,
Mitch.
like, but that's not a winner's name, like, do you know,
That's not his
God bless the
name.
man, like, it's all like, hi
Changed
there,
it to protect the
Mitch.
innocent and not so innocent.
First red flag, anyone called Mitch, I'm sorry. No, it's like someone called Hank. No.
Okay, I'm letting this go because we're friends, Zip. But I changed the name to protect the innocent. So this is that's not his
Yeah.
real name. I'm just saying it so it doesn't come back on me.
Yeah.
But
I have the opposite problem. I sound like Mitch through texting. Do you know what I mean? I sound like Mitch does in real life, only through texting. And we're like, how is your day? And you know what I mean? Because it's all spelt wrong and fucking all fucking disjointed. And then whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm all like, yeah, tell me about your deeper emotions. Maybe I could take a lesson from Mitch, you know? Like, you know, we'll both use our strengths together to become one mighty morpher person, you know? God bless old Mitch.
yeah,
I have
God
one.
bless
I
you
have
both.
one. I have. Yeah, I have one. I have one advice for you. Please don't. Um. Not a good precedence. Anyway.
No, it's not a good
God bless you both.
precedent. Yes. God
Anyway,
bless.
God bless you both. But to be very candid and it's important that we understand some basic things that we have been able to draw out today, and that is the fact that from the first, I'm just trying to do like a wrap up of some of the basic things that we've touched on today in the next couple of minutes. But first of all, I want to thank everyone that has been with us from the very beginning. I want to thank our guest here who's been with us too from the very beginning. And there are a lot of names here. thank you so much. And we've had 52 persons listening, and thank you so much, everyone. Abby is here. Did you notice that? She just snuck in. But thank you very much
Who?
for being here
Who's
with
here?
us.
Abby?
Abby, yeah.
Yeah, hi Abby. Hi, I am Nick. Abby, it's Marcel C, Tarzan Black,
Mm,
Zippy. Thank
mm.
you for being here and
Thank you so
stopping by
much.
and joining us. Heart of the Hood. Thank you for joining in and being receptive and contributing. We really appreciate you. It's been fun.
I enjoy feeding my pussy to
It
you
has
guys.
been.
Yeah.
It has been. And today and thank you for the piece of poetry that we got. That was really hot. That was good. And today we were able to talk about partners who are very dominating and stuff, and who want to dominate in a relationship, and we were able to advise them to kind of chill and make concessions and be able to compromise at some point, and be able to live and let's leave kind of thing, be able to shift grounds on some points. And then we talked about being strong-willed, and we talked about the cheating girlfriend and the guy, and poor guy who's just there trying to figure out whether to confront and not to confront. And then we talked about the depressed boyfriend or ex-boyfriend whose wife is calling some it's just a very funny scenario, but we were able to talk about that, and I think that's where we stopped.
And by the by, Hood, I stand by my former statement that the ex-wife is a biatch. A biatch.
Just for the records. Then we got one last message, and then would listen to that. yeah. I just still don't understand why she made that call, but let's listen to the last message.
Never. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. It's been an interesting conversation. I've been over here listening, just listening to y'all perspectives, and just taking a lot of growth from it. So I appreciate the conversation. And shoot, I might have to get in. Hopefully I can get in on with y'all one day.
Well, we're here every Saturday.
Same time.
2 hours at the same time, 11:30 Eastern time and 4:30 GMT, right?
Yeah.
4:30 GMT and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. So, join us. Please come back.
Yes,
and
you should.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this, and everyone who's been here. Is that a soundtrack?
Yeah, that was
Okay, great. We have new set of soundtracks now, like we would be using once in a while. Okay. And then I hope that next week we have some other questions, which and I like the way we're developing the conversations, because sometimes we come and we have 5 questions and we run through 5 questions, but now the more robust our conversations are, the less questions we're having to deal with, but we have loads of questions that we have not yet touched, and we will touch next week. And
the your questions are very important, and we will be getting to all of them. Just we ran out of time today. We tend both of us tend to get a little long-winded, and we did add another co-host. So, but thank you for sending in your questions, and I thank you again, Z, for having me on the show every Saturday. It's always an honor and a pleasure to
amazing.
Talk about these topics. I really appreciate it. I really honestly do. What's up, Heart of the Hood?
Honestly, I was just very happy to be here. It's been awesome. Look forward to all the time. I'm sitting here setting up for my next show. So I'm definitely because y'all done gave me some motivations and things that I want to do on a show about.
Awesome.
If y'all catch it, somebody catch it, they're gonna definitely get a laugh out of it or two. Because some things that I actually have to say, or some are just true and others is just shenanigans. Because I don't mind being about shenanigans like other people used to.
I'm going to once I get out of here, I'm going to try to get something to eat, and then I'll catch up on your show and listen and support.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna tune in too.
All right, because I'm about to
All
start.
right.
I'm about to start one at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Then
All right.
no problem at
thank
all.
You.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have
Thank you.
fun.
Have a great
Enjoy.
weekend, guys.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Right.